Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the last stream. Oh, it just makes me sad, Leigh. The last stream of WCOAP 23. We're going to lock this thing up, throw it away until 2024. No Limit Hold'em Online Championship tonight, Leigh. A bracelet event and a big field.
Yeah, it is a big field. I'm sure you're all at home, have done exactly what I've done for the last hour. You prepared yourself a nice big bowl of spicy chicken pasta. You sat down ready to watch the final bracelet event. Am I the only one who's done that? Okay, right.
Leigh,
okay, fair enough.
I need to know, do we retire the spicy chicken pasta after this? Is that only a WCOAP entree or what?
Do you think they might change the menu by the time we next it back to Dusty Dawn? I'm not sure.
No.
They might
We're back in November. I think we'll see it again, right?
Yeah, I think you might be quite right. But this is event number 25. It is the final one, the final event of WCOAP 2023. It is the Online No Limit Hold'em Championship. And I don't know where everyone's come from on a Saturday night, but we've got a staggering 293 runners in this event tonight. They're all out for the last chance to pick up a bracelet, Des. That's what they're after. We are down to 106 of those 293.
Nice.
It's a freeze out, remember? So it's a freeze out. So it's 293 unique players from all over the world are playing this event tonight. We're down to 106. We're paying top 47, so 15% of the field. I'm still fairly confident it'll be somewhere about 10:30, 11:15. I don't think we'll be a million miles off that, because average stack at the moment is about 27 bigs. So yeah, think we're going to see. We'll see plenty of action in the next half an hour. We will be joined by the one and only Stuart Ward in about 15 minutes or so. He will be jumping into the studio on a Saturday night. He late
regged the stream, Leigh. That's his plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it works. Nothing wrong with that in the slightest. And already I can see the chat is going absolutely crazy on a Saturday night. Let's plenty of people in there.
Yeah, let's put a few of them up. So Mr. Fisher says, hello there, boys. And Leigh, he's got an added interest tonight now that he is top of the Player of the Series leaderboard. So great result last night.
Wrong Stefan.
Oh, it's Mr. Fisher. Of course it's Mr. Fisher. It's Netherlands Stefan as opposed to German Stefan. So Stefan Fisher doesn't have the same level of interest, but nonetheless, lovely to see you, Stefan. I hope all is well with you, sir.
What a wow, we're doing well. 2 minutes into the show and you're already giving players rub downs. This is
good. Luckily, I've been to the pub. That's no secret. So almost anything could happen tonight. To be honest, almost anything did happen on the motorway on the way back. Apparently there was an oncoming vehicle in our lane. We didn't get to see it, but that was interesting. So Mr. Lawler says, good evening. Good evening to you, Cy. Carrie says, hello all. Lots of pros playing. What is it, a £25 buy-in? Maybe. It shows you the value of a strongly structured freeze out on GG. Maybe there's some learnings to be had from that. Apparently some A-Patters now have over $225,000 in winnings. Another with 85k. We shouldn't worry. We know lots of very good A-Patters, long-term A-Patters who've won millions.
But we've all got that sort of money, haven't we? Winnings.
Well, I certainly have that type of winnings there. So, do you win a bracelet if you're not a registered A-Patter? So, no. You gotta write in and submit a case for your bracelet, and I wouldn't expect a non-regular member to be doing that. Leigh?
No, very much so. So what I would say with the bracelet events, we will do our best to contact the player when it comes to the actual bracelets themselves. But as far as the medals go, it's added value. So very much, if you've not registered up on apat.com,
absolutely. Kerry,
there is a web page now on the website. So when it comes to online medals, we basically ask you to kind of just make a claim when you need one, and you can select when you want to pick it up or whether you want us to put it in the post for you. So that's the way we process those these days. So that is very much the case.
Kerry says, I don't quite get this. I think they were live unless they signed up at the champs at DTD. Well, I would imagine most of them playing tonight are still live. Sai says, I played a 25-cent spin on GG last night with a player who had 333k in spin winnings. Really? Wow. That's pretty impressive. Eddie says, good evening from Duckadidee. Is that how we pronounce it, Leigh? Duckadidee? I think.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
I think we know who we're talking about here, don't we? What a lovely lady Ducati Die is.
It might be Ducati Die, yeah.
It might be Ducati Die.
Probably...
Oh, and Eddie. So nice to see Eddie as well. It was great to see you both at DTD.
Well, talking about Eddie, True Babatega is all in against Flasher Tilts.
Blimey.
Six deuce. Is not going to get there, and Flasher Tilts is going to get a double up through True Babatega. Flasher Tilts is Alan Ellis, I think I want to say. Let me double check I am right with that.
That's a great name. Yeah, that is a fantastic name. Really like that.
What I would say is I've seen loads of more UK players playing tonight that I haven't had on the kind of on our list and database. So lots of new names and some names that I recognise from years gone by.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
and not surprising. I mean, there's a bracelet at stake, right? So not surprising at all. And you know what? For like a semi-big event for us, £25 feels like it was a really nice buy-in price point. Not so expensive that it wipes you out for, the rest of the week or a couple of weeks, given all of the limitations on deposits and stuff like that at GG. But yet it's going to generate a really nice price pool. So Stefan has said bad beat. So he's claiming the first bad beat of the night, which I think is fair enough. He does go on to ask Leigh, who won the PLO then yesterday? Do you recall that player's name?
We're still yet to get confirmation of who that player is.
Yeah.
So as soon
over the weekend is a little bit harder.
That's all going to get tied up on Monday. I've spoken to GG today briefly, and that will all get tied up and confirmed on Monday because we've just got to go through double check and make sure we're tying up the right player.
Absolutely.
On GG to dust the door, and we wouldn't want to get that wrong.
Yeah.
So
we can say Stefan Roeder finished third, took the bronze medal.
And Stefan Roeder is currently, to the best of my knowledge, top of the player of the series at the moment as it stands. So Tony G says, good evening all. Asa says, good evening all. Good evening, boys. Stefan goes on to ask, the bracelet is also added value or not? Absolutely, it's added value. You only get it if you're in the circle. Chris Hibbard says, I am still alive, just. Good stuff, Chris. Keep it going. Chris is still alive. Chris was actually it was up near one of the chip leaders for a good while. Not there. What I should just say is the table we've got open at the moment, Des. It is table Eddie that we just said was in the hand against Alan Ellis that we just watched a second ago. But also on this table, you've got Sam Vines, you've got Asa, this guy. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, this guy's on this table as well.
I've heard of him. Leigh.
Yeah, he's there as well. So, and also Casing.
From Plymouth.
Is a Potter. Yeah,
he is indeed.
Potter. So, cracking table here. Considering we're still 95 players out, and a load of them on there. Also, they're joined by Shadow 2023 from Canada and IP Schnick 15, who is currently third in chips.
Neat. And Leigh, just still running through the chat box. A few more to go, not many. Renty's back with us again tonight. He says, my mate Adam didn't win anything last week, and he got more from the 6 days than any winner. Priceless life memory. And to be honest, I've said it before, APAT's much more about the experience and the really super bunch of people we have playing than almost anything else. And it was lovely to see everybody in good form last week. And nice to see Renty back, and there you go. You see, that's another bunch of people connected to APAT. They've created, they identify the values of what we bring, and they're going to play again, and that's all that we can ask for. Stefan asks, what is Stefan Roeder's GG name? It's S optional? Or just optional?
Optional 65. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Carl Jones says, enjoyed my game tonight. Was even leading it for a while. Sadly went downhill rapidly, and now my only involvement is watching the show. That's like the ultimate short straw, Leigh. You're expecting a good night of poker, and you end up with us. What can I say? What can I say?
You get this is it. You can now understand what we feel like every Sunday night whilst we're watching everybody else play poker, and we're just sat here going, Oh, we should have played this, Des.
That's right.
Played this.
That's right. But
yeah,
Carl,
why?
Don't look for any sympathy from us, because do you know how many times Leigh and I have had to watch this show? Do you know? It's like our Sunday night penance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Triplin is out there, Leigh. Evening, guys. Nice catching up with everyone last week, and congrats to all the winners. Oh, he went so close. He went so close on a couple of occasions, did Triplin. Leigh, it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before Mr. Chaplin scores again, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But so we've got loads of players. So I've got a few of the tables open at the moment. I've got table Eddie here. Let's see whether just quickly whether Eddie calls Ben's all in here for 10 bigs. He's going to make the call, so we'll watch this one play out. Queen Jack for Ben. It's pocket fours for Eddie. Pocket fours still ahead.
Oh, look at that, Leigh. He's
well,
open-ended.
So it needs to King, 8, Queen, or a Jack for Ben. Loads of outs as long as not spade. It's not going to be a spade, but it's not going to be any of those, and we're going to lose Ben, unfortunately, in 93rd place. Let me jump tables for you here, because we mentioned Chris Hibbert got mentioned earlier on. Well, Red Chris 76, there he is, top left of your screen, and what a table he's sat on here, because top right of your screen,
Steve Redfern,
which is Steve Redfern.
Nice.
One to the left of Steve Redfern is Thinker JE,
Mr. Edwards.
And Bleach 2277 is Rory Laidlaw. Who's nicely stacked with 50 bigs there, so sitting quite pretty on that table. Also, they're joined by Smokey from the UK, Old School 69 from the Netherlands, Straight to Hell from Russia, and Subin 2, who's now all in with pocket kings against
my kings.
Flop the 2 pair though, so just needs to avoid an ace, a queen, or a 3, and does. Whoa. And Smokey's going to get a double up through Subin 2. Nice timing to catch that one. Say loads of players still in. Top player from the UK at the moment, that's Coronis, who's currently second in chips, got 817,000. Table Coronis has also got Gypsy Shrimp on their table from the UK, who has been up in the top 5 chip stacks for a little while there, but is currently involved in the hand, and that's actually got Paul Haycock on that.
Yeah, I see that. Pairs 27.
Only got 10 bigs there though for Paul. So we'll see what he does with that. So lots of APAT regs still going in this, with 90 players remaining. So we'll try and keep an eye on all the action, and see whether Eddie's going to call off this for 50-odd bigs. I don't think he's going to, surely not. Unless he's got an absolute monster of a hand.
And it's worth remembering, guys, depending on what happens here, Eddie lets it go. It's worth remembering that obviously, when we send out a mailer to the database to talk about events like these in particular, we don't send out these mailers on a daily basis. APAT has like 60, 70,000 names in its database. So you're going to get a lot of players becoming aware of, events at the weekend or whatever, that aren't part of the Facebook group, that, aren't with us every day. I mean, we're very familiar with the active players in the Facebook group, and I think some 3,000 players check in there on a monthly basis. But they just become aware and they come and play because there's some really good value and offer. And we're known for our decent structures. So it doesn't surprise me that we get a nice little entry list for a tourney like this, Leigh.
Absolutely, that's the way it's going to be. Just quickly flicking over to Right Old Bass, which is Shug, and he's all in against Straight to Hell from Russia. Pocket 5s, Queen 10 for Shug. Hits his queen, needs to avoid a 6 or a 5. Which he does, so Shug will get a double up. So another good table here. So we mentioned Straight to Hell from Russia earlier on. So Falcone Hosts is from the UK, currently 4th in chips overall. This table's also got Tony G, APAT's very own Tony G on it. Good to get out from the UK. Broken Toy is Joseph Dunlop, who's we've followed playing APAT events online in recent times. So plenty of APATers out and about playing this tonight. Current player chip leader overall and from the UK is Smokey, who we just saw a minute ago in a couple of hands. Is now
Here we go.
818,000. Shug all in again. Ace 5 against Ace 10 is going to need to
He's in trouble here.
5 or there's chop options as well. So
that's red.
But that's not going to be any good. And we're going to lose Shug. Shug has lost to straight to hell.
That's where he's gone, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Bad luck, Shug.
Out in 86th place for Shug. So on we go. So we're paying top 47. So min cash is going to be £43, and I haven't even mentioned the money up top. Let's have a look at the big bucks. So fifth place is £413. Fourth place is £550. Then it goes 735 for bronze medal position, 980 for silver medal position, and just over £1,300 tonight gold medal and the bracelet. All
Super.
£25 buy-in. So somebody
Fantastic.
is gonna have a really good return on their investment tonight.
Yeah.
And may well have even got into this through one of the satellites earlier on the week, or even the free roll on Tuesday. So
Absolutely.
Could be in for absolutely next to nothing here. So good luck to those remaining.
Yeah, from the comfort of their own home, I have to say. Kerry says, I thought Natalie was Piers. Got that wrong. Of course, the Hearts of Queens image in the logo there, but that is Paul's image. He's a supporter of Hearts of Queens.
Absolutely.
Rinty says, I had 20p each way on Tristan to win the main last week. Now I can't afford food this week. It seems to me that was a bit of a gamble. 20p each way on Tristan. I mean, I wouldn't be spending my money that way, Leigh, would you?
Tristan's a good each way bet, though, isn't he? He's a very good each way.
But 20p, Leigh, 20p.
Yeah, that is for sure. I can see Stuart Ward in the studio, Des.
Oh, is he really? Should we let him in, Leigh? Should we let him in?
Well, you could let him in, I suppose, if you want to. Yeah, you'll probably find he's not there. You better check his camera first. And he's not.
Do we want to do a sobriety test on him first, Leigh?
I can't hear it, so he's not talking to us at the moment. So
can just ask him to recite the alphabet up to, I don't know, C. There he is, Stuart Ward, and his phallic-looking mic. I mean, that is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, Stu. That's better. That is so much better. How are you? It's been a while.
Oh, I don't know. Is he struggling to hear us? Maybe. No, he can hear us, but we can't hear him. Maybe we'll work out what's going on there now. Des can work on the technical side of that.
Yeah, I can look at all the dials and knobs in front of me, Leigh, and scratch my head and then offer a quote. But Stu has done what I would have advised him to do eventually, and that is log out and log back in again.
Yeah, exactly, which is the best way to do it.
Unfortunately, Leigh, Tris is out there. He's been hearing the Rinty story, and he says, to be honest, if I had the chance, I would have had a bet to Rinty. Good lad. We like to see the confidence. Yeah, I'd have put a few quid on Tris, actually. He's been there and done it before several times with and outside of APAT. Of course, a main event winner before. He went out in 14th at Dustle Dawn last week. Little unlucky in a couple of big hands late on there, Leigh.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Eddie's taking the chip lead again, and only just, but he's involved in his hand. It seems to be playing a lot with IP Schnick 15 from Russia. Every time Eddie kind of raises into their big blind, he's getting play back against. So he's let a few last few go. At some point, maybe Eddie's laying a trap and is going to catch him out. Yeah. We will see.
Stu's back, Leigh. Let's see if we can program him back in again. I mean, to be honest, over the last 5 minutes or so, he's never made as much sense.
It's sounding a bit more. It's sounding a bit more promising, I think. So we'll
Hello,
see.
Stu.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
How are we doing?
The old, I'm good apart from my microphone not behaving itself.
We all have tech problems, I have to say. But the old log in, log out sort of thing, switch it off, tends to work.
Shout at the microphone, plug it
Absolutely.
back in again. Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, Stu, you agreed to appear tonight, and your rider had only 1 point on it, and that was does not want to discuss football. But yet the very first question that's appeared in the chat box, celebration at Riverside. Now, Stu, I've got to tell you, my friend, I have been out all day. I have no idea how the Borough got on today. And that's not, I'm not rubbing you or anything. How did they go today?
Really well, thanks, sir. Let's move on.
Oh, they didn't. It did not. Did they lose? I know they've had a really tough start.
Lost 2-0. Yeah,
lost 2-0.
Basically, the last few years we've relied on a lot of loan signings, and so we've lost out on Cameron Archer.
Who?
Shut up. Ramsey, Ashley Giles, Chuba Acom's left. So we've lost a lot of quality players, and we're basically at a reset where we've made 12 signs this summer, and they're all like young kind of like players that we're hoping are going to develop.
Yeah.
So we're having a rough start to the season, to be honest with you.
Is it not now your worst ever start to the season for 20 odd years or something like that?
It feels like it. I don't know if that's the stat, but it definitely feels
I'm sure on Sky Sports Soccer Saturday this afternoon they were saying it was something along the 20 odd years or something like that.
I didn't see Sky Sports today. I was too busy hurling abuse at the stadium.
That is fair enough. Such a pity, Stu, because obviously you were extremely close last season, and it did feel with the momentum you'd had that actually you could have taken that playoff sort of place. It did feel that way last season, but I guess you're set back for 12 months now, and let's see where we are. I guess next. I mean, have you wrote off this season already?
Pretty much. I mean, for me, it's basically this season's about developing the players we've got, and we're doing a bit like Brentford and Brighton are doing, where we're signing young, talented players, and we're trying to basically build from there as opposed to just bringing in 5 or 6.
Sorry, Stu, young players.
Yeah, I don't think we've signed anybody over the age of 24.
Yeah, but it's just that you said talented, and I can see that they're young.
Oh, here we go. Christ, I wish Mo Salah had gone to Saudi Arabia. Honestly.
We still might.
They still might, to be honest. Stu, I would not be surprised.
I will come back on the APAC show and spend 2 hours laughing at you when it happens.
He really still might, because I'll tell you what, if they've offered 150 million, they could easily come back and offer 200 million. And I'm not sure. I mean, at what price do you go?
He's 31 years old.
You take the money. You take the money, don't you? And you take
I
the
think,
money.
I think there's a reasonable chance he might go, to be honest.
Oh God, I hope so. It'd be hilarious. It'd make Liverpool even worse.
But just out of curiosity, what do you think, Des? If they came back with 200 mil, they take the money, wouldn't they?
Yeah, surely. I think so. Of course, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's the reality, and you just go, well, okay, we're not going to win the title this season anyway.
Well, I don't think we're going to win the title anyway.
We're getting a load of players into the squad, so we'll use it as an opportunity to blood. You've got a good attacking line anyway.
Yeah.
Just watching Falcone host with pocket 8s all in against Lux Lover here from the Ukraine. Lux Lover hits an 8, so he's probably going to get a double up here unless there's an 8 on the river. Oh, it's red, so it might be.
What's this P?
What we control that.
Yeah.
Stu, me and Des.
We've got just Des sat there being a troll, just like
I've got it's like a lever.
Special button that can do that. It's that's the way. So we will see, but I think they may well come back in the next week and test the water, because I don't think they've had a definitive no from the player as such.
The only thing
they wouldn't have bothered. So
yeah, look, I would imagine the player will be comfortable to go, but the player is probably asking him the same question as everybody else is, which is, should I do it this year or next? The one thing you would say about a Salah transfer to Saudi Arabia is, it's not, the value of that offer is not going to decrease enormously in 6 or 12 months because of the stature of the player in that market. So I think Liverpool might hedge their bets and say, well, no to 200 now, but maybe they'll come back with 150 in January or next summer. Because even at 32, he'd still be a big celebrity there.
Like older players, because most of the players deciding at the minute are over the age of 30, but 150 million for a 31-year-old player. Just take the money.
Yeah.
He's 31 years old. He's going to start sliding downhill at some point. Just take the money and go.
But he is super fit, Stu. I mean, his goal scoring isn't going down.
If they took that money, they could buy the company that's gone bust, and they could get the stadium finished, couldn't they? Because there's that option, isn't there? So
you could call it the Mo Salah stand at Anfield Road.
I'm just waiting for the next week's episode of DIY SOS, where they say, right, we're here in Liverpool. This great club that have got a stadium half built, and they've been left in distress. So what we're doing, we're going to get everyone round, and everyone's going to make a bit of an effort, and
these cowboy builders,
and get it finished off. The scary thing is the work that's been done so far. The feedback is they're saying the quality of it is not great, and if somebody's got to go in and try and finish this off, there's going to be a lot of issues around the work that's already been done. Apparently,
really, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I've got bloody plaque outside that. I hope my plaque goes down.
Yeah, they're not happy with the quality of a lot of what's been done. Apparently, so
I think that the main problem is that the bid came in so late, which is stupid of them. If they had put this bid in June or July, then the deal probably been done by now. Liverpool could have gone and bought another second.
Do you not think it was another Mbappe type thing where it's we're all talking about it, but it was never going to happen? There is a little bit.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Maybe that was just we'll throw it out there. It's never going to actually happen. So we'll throw that number out there, and it's just a silly number, and it doesn't matter. But it's got everybody talking about it for a week, and on it'll go. So and we will see. Mr. Haycock is all in on the button. Got to get through Gypsy Shrimp, who's got a decent stack in a big blind, but it's still going to be sort of 20% of the stack to call this off.
Button shove,
and they're not going to. So Paul gets that one through, and on we go.
Right, guys,
down to 69 players now, so about 22 off the money. So,
right, guys, it's only taken a couple of minutes, but we did go passionate about football for a couple of minutes, and it's only taken that long for Carl to say, "There's me thinking this was a show about poker." I have to say, we did say, guys, we were only going to talk about poker through WCOAP, and we get back to our normal Sunday night slot. We can get back to talking about Trump and Little House on the Prairie and whatever other sort of non-poker orientated stuff.
When have we ever talked about Little House on the Prairie?
Well, Leigh, if we haven't, we need to talk about that. Really good show.
Good night,
lots of stuff, but we'll stick to poker tonight, guys. What do you say? What do you say? And I have to say the chat box is kicking off. Big style about how Liverpool could invest that money to rebuild Liverpool, and Ace is saying, yeah, but what would you do with the rest of the money? Cheeky beggars. Cheeky beggars.
Yeah. So I just saw just looking there, who was it who just said Ben? So Ben Foot says, let's go Kyle. So confirm who you're talking about so we can make sure we've got
let us know, Ben.
We've got this place. Yeah, who that is, Ben. Because it might be one that's not on my list, or it's not easy for me to see.
Then the shock is Asa McGrath sat on 10 big blinds.
Yeah,
that's pretty standard. Come back in 3 hours and see him sat there on 10 big blinds, please.
What about Asa, guys, standard. With his second team gold? And Stu, of course, you were part of the team that won the first team gold for England back in 2013. That was some performance. They're obviously a very strong team put together by Wayne there with Danny and Di. Matt didn't get to make it in the end. But what a performance from Asa, who is now sort of saying, I might hang up my boots. I might not do this again because 2 for 2 was pretty special. He did well last week, didn't he, Stu?
Oh, yeah. He's obviously a very good player. Everyone knows it. And like I say, there does come a time when you've got to give someone else a chance, Asa. You've only played for England 632 times. So just give someone else a chance. Asa's played for England nearly as many years as Paul Haycock was captain.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Not far off that.
That is a lot.
Not far. Asa will now come back and tell you that it's actually probably about 3 times, and I think he's bracelet twice and maybe medalled the other one or something like that. It's. To
be fair, I think I've probably played for England more times than Asa, so I can't really talk. But I think it's a case, Stu, where you go. I think doing it twice is pretty damn impressive.
Pretty spectacular.
Kyle, right?
Kyle is smoky.
Kyle is smoky. There we go. Okay, so that's excellent. So good luck to Carl, who is currently he's currently 5th in chips now. We've got 920,000. So,
and Leigh, I need to ask you: do you know the rest of Kyle's name? Do you know which Kyle we're talking about? Or should we ask?
No.
Okay, Ben, just confirm
yeah.
Kyle's surname. So we've got the whole picture in front of us. And if you could tell us which football team he supports. No, you can omit that last bit. or we'll get the stream taken off air, and we don't want that. To be honest, that has happened over football in the past. But not tonight, guys. Too serious.
Can we do it? Can we just? I know Natalie's not here, so can we do the? We can talk about Burnley bit, and I can just laugh for 15 minutes.
Oh, don't! She did say she might actually call in from Barcelona when she knew you were going to be on the show.
Come on, Nat. Because honestly, the only thing I'm finding for you that is
Dobson. There we go. Brilliant.
Kyle Dobson.
Cool. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much, Ben. Much appreciated. Well, Kyle is doing rather well at the moment. Currently top player from the UK with 65 players remaining. So we're getting close to the money now, guys. Getting close.
Ace is only 5 big blinds off shoving his stack in here.
Well, we know Ace is got the abilities to nurse a stack. Eddie's gone from kind of one of the chip leaders down to now to about 18 bigs. Average stack is currently 22.5 bigs. So he's not in really in desperate times at the moment. But it is going to tighten up as we get into the money, Stu, isn't it? That is always the way it kind of it goes to this structure. This structure is exactly the same structure as we played in the main event at Dusk Till Dawn last week, just on a 10-minute clock. So it's a super structure to play. Yeah.
There's 64 people left and 47 paid. Is that one?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, we're getting there, aren't we? So again, like I say, with 20 odd bigs, it's really difficult to play down the streets. It's going to be, for a lot of people, it's going to be a bit of jamming it all in and trying to steal some blinds and nurse you.
Yeah, at some point you've got to decide what you want to do. You just want to get in and get a cash, or are you looking to try and go on and win it? I say nice money up top. Everyone on the final table is going to be well over £100 for what is only a £25 buy-in.
That's crazy money, isn't it? It's absolutely.
It's very nice. Very nice.
I was speaking to some people about the payouts for the live main event, and it was absolutely scary the amount of money people get in the final table.
It was super, wasn't it? $2,000 up.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. Very nice. Leigh, you in particular will appreciate this in yet another example of something that we often say to ourselves off air. Kyle is in fact out there and says, Burnley fan and proud. So good that you're listening in, Kyle. Good luck with the rest of the tourney. And tough. I mean, Burnley are having a bit of a tough time at the moment, right? Do we think will they get up to speed? We shouldn't be talking about football, really, but it's Kyle's fault.
Well, Kyle's all in with 10s against Sam Vines' fours.
Yikes.
Fours that are at risk here. So it's going to be a 4 and only a 4 for I'm assuming it's Sam, with the name Sam Vines on their screen. The 4 doesn't come, so Kyle adds to his stack, and that's going to put him up to second in chips now.
Rich get richer.
So sitting in a really nice place with 57 bigs as we get closer to that money.
Yeah, Burnley have struggled. I mean, I think that they will kind of like ease into the league a bit more. They play the kind of
so Brommers is in. She says she launched the show the second you start talking about Burnley. Oh dear, poor Natalie.
What have you heard about Burnley so far? Not just so we're clear.
Well, she won't have heard much. I mean, we literally only started. So unless she's talking about the Burnley that play up at Ayrsham Park or wherever the heck you guys play, we haven't spoken too much about them.
Man. Just got a quick hang going on here. Going to the river is all in for just 3 bigs. Pairs 27, which is Paul Haycock, has shoved for his 9 bigs, and Gypsy Shrimp has got decision on the big blind. A lot of chips in the middle there, but decides to fold. So Paul's going to have to win this. He won't bust.
He's got live cards.
To the river that's at risk, but has hit a king though, so he's ahead. Just needs to avoid an ace or 3.
No, that's good. That's a good card. Sorry. No ace.
Oh, ace on the river. So it's a double. He
called it in. He said just one time.
Double up for going to the river, and Paul is down to 6 bigs now.
Unlucky, but so Burnley. So we'll make it short and sweet. I guess the question is, obviously, reasonably rough introduction to the Premier League. Do they maintain their style of play? Presumably, yes. This is the team. This is the way they play.
Yeah,
but do they?
Of course they do. Yeah.
Do they get up to the speed of it? And I'd be surprised if they didn't. But it does seem to have been a difficult start.
Acer is all in. Ace is all in against River Rat 90. Queen Jack for River Rat. Ace King for Acer. It's the Ace King at risk, and just needs to avoid on the river. And does.
Oh, of course he does.
Double up.
Of course it does. So double up for Ace.
I think with Burnley, it's a case of like. Sorry, I've just completely lost my train of thought. I say they've got. Is it a case of like, is there 3 worst teams in the league, and there's definitely 2?
Yeah, I think Kyle's just nailed. So I think Kyle's just nailed it. So he's a season ticket holder. He said he left today with 20 minutes to go. 3 tough games to start the season, but he trusts in company, and I think that is actually spot on. If you haven't watched the Mission to Burnley documentary,
it's great, wasn't it?
From based on last season, really, really good watch. Well worth watching that, and I think Kyle's absolutely nailed it. It's a tough game, and they've caught Spurs today, who are just in an absolute run of form on a buzz. They're flying at the moment, and I think I called this last season. I said I think Spurs would be a better side without Harry Kane in the team. It's the reason why I didn't want United to sign Harry Kane, because I think he would have actually made our team worse in a weird way. I think. What you're seeing from Spurs now, with a really good manager, a good attacking manager that wants to play good football for them, they'll leak goals. Don't get me wrong, they'll leak goals. And the minute they've taken Richarlison out of the team, who is not a number 9, he's not anything like that, and rejigged that up front, they're looking superb. And Brennan Johnson now in the squad as well, who did really well for Forest last season. Yeah,
was nobody else surprised to see they paid £47 million for Brennan Johnson?
No, I think that's pretty much market going right at the moment for what he did last season for Forest. He's quality, lightning quick. He will be a great addition to their squad.
I mean, obviously, I'm a Championship pauper, but
just quick. Eddie's all in with Pocket Kings against Ipshink's 15, his nemesis with from Russia. Needs to avoid an ace basically on the river, and he's going to do it because I can see it's a spade, and the ace of spades is already out. So Eddie's going to get a double up, and it was actually for about 57 bigs, that pot. So that's going to put Eddie now up in the kind of top 3. Along with Major Fold again. And Major Fold again is Naz. So Naz is up in the mix. We mentioned Kyle. So it's starting to form up as we're down to 59 players now, so just 12 off the money. I don't think it's too much for Brendan Johnson. I really don't. I think Simon Lawler says it's great business for Forest. Yeah, I think it is because I think where they are at the moment as a team. But I don't think it's a ridiculous bit of business at all. I think actually probably both clubs, they probably think they've done pretty well out of it. So
I've got a question. Are Luton going to go down as one of the worst ever teams the Premier League's ever seen?
I think you could find Luton and Sheffield United. Mm-hmm. It could be the worst bottom 2. Yeah,
Luton are genuinely dreadful.
Yeah,
they've got promoted playing long ball.
But Stu, they were always going to be, because they haven't invested in the squad really in any serious depth.
They have, but
they're using the money. Yeah, they've looked at it as we've got promoted. We've taken the money. It's going to pay for the new stadium that's being built, and that'll do. So that's the way they've looked at it.
Oh, they've bought a new shed up.
Yeah. Well, they've got a new stadium that isn't going to be ready for another year or so, I think, because they're finally moving away from Kenilworth Road. So, I think that's the way you look at it.
The football they play is absolutely awful.
But they're in the Premier League, and they will make the most of it, and good for them, really.
Well, they've invested in a lot of decent Championship players to try and get promoted again next season when they get relegated.
So just to answer the question from APAT's very own Tony G, who said, is Naz in the running for player of the season? Oh, yeah. Naz is very much in the running for player of the series. He's currently sat with 3 in the points finishes on 16 points. So he's only 2 behind Stefan Roeder at the moment. So Naz is very much in the mix and is currently 3rd of the remaining 57 players. Only top 9 are going to pick up player of the series points here. But yeah, Naz is very much in the hunt. A final table finish for Naz could mean he steals it in the very, very last event of the series.
Leigh, just to continue the push of the content back in the direction of poker, friend of the show, Natalie, who was in the chat box a short while ago, and Burnley fan, say it quietly, is in Spain playing at the Estrellas or the EPT. It's the one series in any event. How are we doing? Do we know, guys? I did see a lovely image in a chat earlier showing chips, and it all looked very, very fab. Do we have any updates from Natalie?
Not that I'm aware of.
But, not that we're aware of.
Hopefully, if she's in the chat,
she might share some.
To let us know. Yeah, absolutely. Decision here for Paul. Let me see if I can get back onto that table, because Mr. Pink has shoved all in, and Paul's in the big blind and has folded, so he's down to 3 bigs there.
Oh, he's in trouble, isn't he, Leigh? 3 bigs.
Yeah, it's trying to cling on. We're still 9 off the money here, so I don't know. It's difficult to what you're doing at this point here, Stu. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
But when you already got the big blind in, then it's gone, and it's like if you've got a terrible hand and the button's going to go through you, you can kind of buy a bit of time. It's just a case if his hand's really bad, the big blind, then there's no point.
Yeah. No, he's
folded
there.
This kind of thing happens.
Three-way all in on another table. King 9 versus Ace Queen versus King Queen. It's the Ace Queen that is ahead and is gonna stay ahead and is going to bust 2 players. River at 90 and Ipshink 15, both bust in one hand. So we are now down to 55. Meanwhile, back on table Haycock, it's Ace Deuce for Quasas against Luna Waikea, who's got Ace King. And Ace King's looking in a good spot to bust the Ace Deuce, and is going to do that.
And that's why
we'll lose another one there. So all of a sudden we're down to 52 players now. So we're just 5 off the money. It's getting starting to get a little bit spicy here. Yeah. Let me see where we are. I think Paul probably is going to be the short stack of the remaining players. Let's have a look.
Well, it goes in.
No, yeah, there's 2 of them that are there. Vacheco Jack has got 3 bigs as well. Good to get out has got 4 bigs. So yeah, there's a bunch of them around that spot at the moment. Zippy Captru has only got 2 bigs left, obviously on one of the tables I've not got open. Zippy Captru is, now I know that name, that is Adam Small. Adam's got and James Edwards has just lost a hand as well, and he's got down to half a big as well. Paul's now got 2 players that are below him, so he's actually 50th of the 52 remaining. So Thinker JE has just lost a big hand on one of the other tables as well. He's down to half a big. So we're going to see a few more exits pretty quickly going on here.
From Paul, I am using every second of my time bank at this moment in time. Every hand.
Yeah. So Awaken there with the Austrian flag. We mentioned Awaken
played last night, didn't he?
Yeah. It's Alexander Kamendolyov, who's the one of the Macedonian players.
Brilliant. Okay, this is the guy with the glasses, right?
Yeah. So Alexander, who ran deep again in the PLO last night, and actually qualified for the main event through the online day 1 as well. Took a decent stack through, so cashed in the main event last week in Nottingham, and is running deep again in this particular one. Paul is all in on the other table. Let me just see how this is going to play out. I'll keep an eye on Paul's table. Alexander's made the shove there into Smokey. Is Kyle going to make the call? We'll watch this one first, and I will jump to Paul's table. If there is a call on that one, is going to likely to get a call, I think, because he's only got 2.5 bigs that he's shoved for. I might just talk you through that one. Carl's made the fold there, so let me jump to table Haycock. And I'm going to guess he's going to get a call from somebody here.
Oh, yeah,
In the
guaranteed.
small blind is Die Hard, which is Di Farrell. On the back of her England success. To say, lots of players that are still in this tournament. Does get a call. It's 6-4 suited up against 10-9, 6-4 at risk. Paul's going to need to hit.
He
does hit, but Nick Benjin also hits a 9. It's going to need to be a 6 or a 4 on the river, or we're going to lose Paul in 51st.
Come on.
Oh, wow.
6.
Oh, wow.
There's the 6.
Oh,
what a squeeze.
6.
What a squeeze.
Never, ever lucky. Never lucky.
Could you have pulled that Could you have pulled that lever any slower if you tried?
Oh,
Mr.
my
Duffy?
God. Did you guys go from thinking it's a 6 to no, it's a 5
It's a
to
5.
no, it is a 6?
Yeah.
Shit.
Never lucky, Mr. Haycock. Never lucky.
Yeah. So Paul back up to 6 bigs. Ick Benjin is kind of saying it's a bad beat. I said, well, I'm not quite sure how much of a bad beat that is when you're up against somebody with 2.5 bigs that's made a shove.
And 2 live
anyway,
cards.
I mean, you'll get over it for your 1.5
it
bigs
is.
extra you had to put in.
Yeah. It is what it is. So we're down to 51 players now. And so James Edwards got a quadruple up in one hand to one of the outer
Go
tables.
thinker.
He's back up to a whole 2.1 bigs now. Adam Small, Zippy Catrew has got 1.1 bigs. So they're the 2 players that are below Paul at the moment. Tony G is 48th at the moment with 6 bigs. King Cormac, Frank Bailey is 47th with 6.6 bigs. And Di Farrell's 45th with 8 bigs. So we've got a lot of 8-pack regs that are at the bottom here,
all
clinging on to get in the money. Yeah.
Fingernails job.
Yeah, all desperately hanging on. Meanwhile, top of the table, Caroni's from the UK is 3rd. True Babatega, Eddie, is back up to 1.1 million now. So he's got 44 bigs. Made You Fold Again, which is Naz, has got over 1 million in chips as well. Carl Dobson's got over 1 million in chips. They're all in the top 10 at the moment, but it's Old School 69, who we spoke about earlier on from the Netherlands, who's currently chip leader with nearly 1.5 million in chips, which is 58 bigs at the moment. So this is where we're at. Down to 50 players now. So we've lost James Edwards. He's bust, unfortunately. He will have been looking to double up again from the 2 bigs that he had and will not have got that one through. So we're down to 50 now. So we're just 3 off the money. And as if by magic, Des, what did I say? I said, I'll be about 10:30, 11:15. We'll hit the money.
Decent calling, Leigh. Decent calling.
Pretty much there.
Average.
So we'll keep an eye on this. Still loads of tables open. So I'm trying to monitor as many of them as I can to see when we bust somebody. But we'll have an idea what's going on. So still plenty of players in the UK. OCL 95 from the UK. Baggers 65. I can see there. Don't Give a Buck is still going well. We mentioned Asa earlier on. He's still there. I don't know who Gypsy Shrimp is, but Gypsy Shrimp has been up near the top of the chips for most of this tournament. So going well. And we've just lost Adam Small. He's busting 50th. So we're now 2 off the money, which means we should go hand for hand, I think, probably when these next hands conclude.
Making calls out at 19 bigs is 21 bigs away is really interesting. At this point
Sorry, Stu, say that again with
like making calls out of 21 bigs is just really well. Wow.
Oh, what a turn. What a turn.
Oh my word.
Ikben can now officially call that a bad beat because that's
Well, he's called out
with
21 bigs with pocket kings. If you're going to play it, then play it.
Meanwhile, got another all in and a call, which is Shadow 2023. Awaken has come up with ace 10 and is going to end up chopping it. Didn't want to see the king on the river, Shadow 2023, really. But we're down to 48 now, so we are actually 1 off the money here now, Des.
Really tough break that for Shadow. Sitting there with ace king on a board like that and he ends up chopping. Unlucky, my friend. Even Simon, I think, is agreeing there. WGF.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible at this point in the tournament. Just it would have bust the player and got us in the money, but not to be. So Tony G has got 6 bigs. He's hanging on, and let's see. And it's going to be Frank who's currently the short stack here with 4.9 bigs. So Frank's hanging on. Paul's got 5 bigs, and we might actually have it. It's not actually an all in the call. I just saw Fearless and Lovage in A.
Here we go.
So here comes the bubble then, folks. So I've got 3 of the tables open, and if it doesn't go on this one, I'll try and see if I can work out how it is that has bust.
Super Leigh. Jamie Lackenby out there as well, shouting for Rory Laidlaw. Coldstream Zone.
So Rory still going nicely.
We know Frank is super short, Leigh, but he's on the verge of cash-in. Good luck over the next few hands, Frank.
Well, Rory is all in. I've got Rory's table. Rory's got 12 bigs. He's all in. He's got a raise from Cornolio, which he needs to get through. So let's see whether he's going to do that. So we're playing hand for hand. And Rory gets that through. Cornolio shows an ace, but we get it through. So on we go. Next hand. Say over £6,500 in this prize pool tonight. 293 runners, £1,300 up top, along with the APAC gold medal and the WCOAP 2023 bracelet. So super nice. Nice prize for a Saturday night. And on we go again. So Tony G in the big blind here. He's got 3.8 bigs behind, so he can afford to fold if he wants to get into the money, because he's going to have an old orbit to get round then. So he'll have enough breathing space if he wants to, and hope that somebody runs big hand into a big hand.
You got like 7 minutes left in the level as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's plenty of time left in this level.
Yeah, we're at level 19. So for those of you that played the main event last week, I think you'll know that pretty much the bubble burst anywhere between kind of level 18 and 20 last week in all the different day ones that we played. So this is pretty much where we'd expect to be.
So Tony's got a decision to make here, Leigh. But Fearless won, the player that has put that raise in there. Lou Atkinson just said, table 36, some crazy tourney cash results. Fearless won $220,000 in winnings. Trying to lay a glove on our Tony G there, who wasn't having it. I'm going to get my cash, I think is probably the words he uttered somewhere from South Croydon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is amazing. Say some of the players on GG, they can be playing really low stakes poker, but can have a good wins if they say they're playing serious volumes.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had A-padders who've won the Sunday Million. We know a few of them, and have won bracelets and big tournaments with huge prize pools. It does happen, guys. But Fearless won, obviously a super capable player.
I mean, but I would imagine there'll be other players in this tournament that have got even bigger winnings than that. That's for sure.
We've had an oracle moment, Leigh. I've got to play it because this is a true oracle moment. He goes on to say, how much have they lost, though?
Yeah, it is. It does only show you how much their winnings are, doesn't it? So
it is a reasonably put question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Frank Bailey is just making his way through the blinds. He's now on the button, so he's down to 2.9 bigs now.
Come on, Frank.
Meanwhile, I think so Paul's had a bit of a flow. He's up to 12. Paul's up to 12 bigs now.
Is he really?
So,
How did he do that?
We moved away from his table, so he's obviously not messing about on this this bubble. He's woken up with some cards maybe, but he's managed to get himself up to 12 bigs. So yeah, Frank has got 2.9 bigs. Tony G's now got 3 on that table. You can see. Just seeing, we're going to see some hands play out here actually, but they've all fairly well stacked up. So unless they
that's in the money.
We're in the money.
It's burst somewhere, and I can't see who it is that's burst because it's jumped off the list. So I don't know who it is, but on one of the tables I'm not watching, we are going to be in the money, and we're 5 to the hour. So that's perfect timing for the players. They're going to play out this hand, and basically they're all in the money, and they're going to go on a break at 5 to the hour. So congratulations to the 47 players that
super
made
news,
it.
Dawn Cook. Well done to you and the others.
Frank has made it. Tony's
Tony
made
G.
it. Di's made it. So all those that we were talking about at the bottom there have managed to hang on and make it. And as you can see on the screen there, current chips at the moment, 1.8 million is the chip leader, which is old school 69. Gypsy Shrimp, the top from the UK at the moment. True Babatega, which is Eddie, is up there. Coronis in the top 9 as well. And Major Fold again, who's Naz, in the top 9 as well. Shadow 2023 from the Canada, we saw playing a few hands earlier on and has been up and around there for most of the tournament. So yeah, players are on a break, 5 to the hour, and we are in the money.
Well done, guys.
Fantastically. Well, listen, we've got a bunch, and I mean a bunch of people out there. And to be honest, I never trust the numbers that I see in terms of understanding who is watching. I think it's far larger. But we did run this video of you with Chris Ralston, his sort of interview after winning our main event at Dusk Till Dawn a couple of days ago. Just going to run it again for anybody that might not have seen that. Good guy, one of the Edinburgh Massive, has taken down the WCOAP main event for 15k and some bling as it transpires. So Leigh spoke to him. Let me run this.
So here I am with Chris Ralston, World Championship Amateur Poker main event winner for 2023. How does that sound, Chris?
Sounds pretty good, yeah. Chuffed to bits, to be honest. Yeah, indeed.
And how did you find the event as a whole? I mean, you came onto this final table as a kind of a joint chip leader, really. How was the the event? What day one did you play first?
The first live one here, which was I think Friday.
Okay,
So yeah, like to be honest, any other UK IPTs or what I've ever done before, never even made day 2. Came close so many times, never actually made it. Once I qualified to day 2, that was it. I was just thinking, yeah, I could do this all the way. So as it turns out,
Well, we didn't see much of you on the feature table on day 2. You're one of the few we didn't really see. You were on an outer table quietly going about your business, yeah?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And what about that for a final table? I mean, there's a couple of big hands we can talk about there, but before we got to that, you were kind of just chipping along nicely. What was your tactics going on to that final table?
It sounds really, really bad to say it, but it was a fairly easy game. Nothing to do with the guys who were playing. They're obviously top quality guys, but again, not just like super lucky or whatever. But I just think I had a good game. No complaints whatsoever. I had a good run of cards. I had my losses and my wins, and yeah, ultimately it worked out.
And I guess when you've got a board which has got 4, 5, 6, 7 of hearts, and you're sat there with 8, 9 of hearts, how much are you just praying, oh please let him have the ace of hearts in his hand?
I never ever thought that I could be that lucky or him that unlucky. But yeah, that's what you're praying for.
And I think Matt at the time was probably second in chips, I guess, or close to that.
He was cruising along as well. I had to do a proper count. I thought I had him well covered. I guess I did, but yeah, he must have been like second chip or something like that. So. And
of course, then that final hand, Elliot short stacked. Yeah. Great, the suited connectors, the 8s is there, and you're just looking down at seeing the kings and going.
You see it when you see the kings, thinking, actually, this is probably just going to go down to this hand. And again, yeah.
And then it held. So you are officially, APAT World Amateur Poker Champion for 2023. You do know means they've got to come back and defend the title in 2024.
Sure, why not? And it must be my lucky weekend because I won the seat to the UKIPT as well. So I'll be back here in December, I think it is, I believe.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Well, on top...
You see me there again.
Well, on top of winning this, courtesy of GGPoker, you've also got a seat into the UKPC in January down here as well. Another £560 buy. You might be quite busy playing poker in the coming months.
First time in Nottingham, and yeah, it's going to be like 3 in a row, so that'll be good.
Well, on behalf of everyone at APAT and everyone that was railing at home, many, many congratulations, and I'm sure we'll see you at future APATs.
Sure, thanks very much.
That's fabulous. You just know he's probably got the middle seat in the back row of the bus on the way back as well. It just seemed all of his aces came in over the weekend. Chris Ralston.
Yeah, it's he played really, really well, and boy did he he get some cards just at the right time. It's still the straight flush hand is just insane.
6 card straight flush. I keep saying it.
Yeah,
it's like
when you're sort of 4 players out and it's up against your chip leader and it's up against a second in chips. I mean, it just puts you in such a dominant position.
Oh yeah.
To then see that out, but he never really looked out of control for the whole thing. He joined the final table as kind of joint chip leader with Dave Amos. They both had over 10 million chips. And very, very, very chilled. And even right at the very end there, just as he won it, his fresh pint turned up. So his beer got delivered at the table just as he'd won the whole thing, and it was all over. It couldn't have been any more perfect for the guy if he tried, really. So, what more could you ask? The players are back from the break, so so 47 players are all in the money. I think we're probably going to see a few very quick exits here because we've got a bunch of short stack players. The average stack at the moment is 20 bigs, Stu, which is obviously, this normally runs around the sort of 28 to 33 mark. So,
some of the short stacks are probably going to bust out and kind of even it up a little bit.
So I'm going to guess, I'm going to guess quite quickly we're going to see some exits, and this will settle down as we head down towards the final table. I think that's very much the way it'll go. So Di is one of those, as Eddie or Di says, come on, Di, has got 4.3 bigs, so is likely to be one of those that's going to be looking to make a move quite quickly. Tony G, I think, certainly is. I think he was in the chat saying, was hanging on for kind of for dear life there, and Frank is another one who has got 2.8 bigs, so he's going to be. Now he's in the money. I don't think he'll be hanging about for too much longer to let rip and see what he can do with that stack. He may well do what Paul Haycock did. Paul was down around 2 bigs at one point and is now up to the dizzy heights of 12 bigs. I mean, that's just crazy. Could be. I mean, pretty much could just sit back and relax.
I do recall saying to you with about 20 minutes left at the end of day 1, I don't know, C or D at Dusk Till Dawn, Leigh, that Paul had about 300,000 in chips, which was relatively low at that point. And 20 minutes left, you said, "Nah, don't worry, he'll be fine." Spoke to him 20 minutes later. "Hey, Paul, did you make it through?" "Yeah, 800k." Happy days. Yeah. He knows what
Vintage
to do.
Haycock.
You can those points in the tournament around the bubble.
Stay calm.
They're super critical. You stay calm. Don't worry about it, and you can usually maximize them if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you can play those tactics and you end up busting, but more often than not, you can use the situation to your advantage. Di is all in here for 6.4 bigs.
It's a good big blind to shove.
Look. The trouble is looking at the stack sizes here. 30 bigs going in. It's a third of Ace's stack here in the big blind. He's not calling this off lightly.
Show an ace.
That's for sure. And Di had an ace, so say that's what you've got to do. Start chipping away here. Tony G is all in under the gun. Has got a shover from the button, which I think is probably going to get the blinds out the way it is. So Tony's at risk and has run 10-3 up against Ace King. But look at that! What a flop!
Oh, he's open-ended. All sorts of possibilities.
Tony now still got 31% chance, and doesn't get there unfortunately. So well done to
Unlucky Tony.
He's going to bust in He's going to bust in 45th, I think. Frank is already still hanging. So we've lost Adam Zlowski. He busted in 47th. He was first one out. Well played to Adam though, and he represented Poland in Nottingham last week as well. Flop Monkey busted in 46th. We've just lost Tony G in 45th. Frank is still hanging on in there with 2.7 bigs in 44th. Fearless is now all in. Fearless won with pocket with King Jack up against King Queen. So it's going to need to be a jack or a heart. Jack or a heart. Or an ace for a chop it up. 8 of clubs is no good though, so we're going to lose Fearless. We've lost Jamel Hardov in 44th from Russia. Fearless won from Russia, bust in 43rd. So we are down. We're down to 43 players now. So we're going to start flying through these, I think.
How is the chefing going these days, Stu? Did you have a busy summer?
Yeah, it's been really busy actually. People have been going out with the families. You're starting to quiet up a little bit now as the kids go back to school, but it's been very busy, to be honest.
Good stuff. It's all you can ask for, I think.
Yep, definitely.
You've got to love online poker. So Ace has just joined us on what's My Table 1. And My Table 1 is right next to My Table 2. So Ace is now in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Ace was in the bottom left-hand side of that screen, which is right next. And in my head, I'm thinking, he's literally just had to turn his chair around and just...
Yeah, he's literally just... It's a super short wander. He's probably moved his chips from one table to the other without the plastic tray.
Yeah, he's not even... he hasn't even had to bother with the rack, has he? Just got on with it. Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, not with 11 big blinds, you wouldn't think, would you? You wouldn't need a rack for that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. That's not going to be many chips, is it? Definitely is not the case. So, so still plenty of players that we know in the mix here as we're down to 42. And we'll keep an eye on all of this as we got. Well, that's going to chop up, isn't it? Well, actually, a diamond on the river would change things, but it's not that going to be.
Ace is commenting slightly more chips on his new table, Leigh.
Yeah, there's certainly. So chip leader at the moment is on this table. It's Leviagin A from Russia, who's got 46 bigs. So actually, chip leader's only got 46 bigs at the moment. Average stack is currently 17.5 bigs. So we are going to see a lot of exits in the next level or so. And just seeing Don't Give a Buck double up through Bumblebee, putting them up to 15 bigs, but this is where we're at. Bagger 65 from the UK is all in under the gun on that table. Let me quick flick over there. There we go. So all in for 6.2 bigs. Is going to get a caller from Lux Lover from the Ukraine. Bumblebee has just doubled up Don't Give a Buck, so gets out the way. Ace-6 versus Queens. It's the Ace-6 at risk. That's not the flop you want to see. Runner, though. Got an up and down straight draw now. 5 or a 10. 5 or a 10 on the river. It's the 10.
Oh my God. Man.
Wowzers.
Dear.
You can literally just see it lumbering over the horizon.
Oh, it's rigged, Leigh. It's rigged.
Oh, tell you what. You've got to love the river cards.
So Kerry,
Baggers 65 doubles up to 13 bigs through Lux Lover with that's the sickest of hands.
Kerry says, I think that's Dawn Cook, so I'm not sure who in particular she's referring to. Do you know which ID Dawn uses, Leigh?
No, I don't.
Let us know, Dawn. Let us know so we can keep an eye on you. Did you hear Dawn's rather sad story on the last night of the WCOAP? Both she and Gary wanted to enter as a team in the tag team, and they were both playing at the point that the entry was required. So one of them had to pull out, and Dawn pulled out. So Nicholas Crossfield stepped in to become a tag team partner of Gary. And they went on to silver medal the thing. I don't think Dawn was sure whether to whoop or cry that she'd missed out on a medal and a very nice placing. But the lads worked very well together. It was a great tag team competition. perfect way to end the 6-day festival.
So they're suggesting in the chat is they think baggers. You always used to be bag puss. Tristan says money on baggers, but I don't understand what the 65 means. That's got no reference. That makes no sense.
Well, it might do.
But she's all in with 4s if it is, and it's up against ace 8. Ace on the turn is going to see it done. Meanwhile, as soon as this is done, I'm going to quickly jump because Smokey is all in with 6s against Mr. Fresh, who was 3rd in chips. So Kyle's now chip leader with 40 bigs. Kyle Dobson chip leader. As we're down to 41 players now, doubling up through Mr. Fresh from Russia. So it's all go here. A few more exits. We lost straight to hell from Russia, who we saw earlier on in 42nd place. And Baggers 65 is now the short stack with Lester Big is all in this very next hand. Let's get across there and see that one. King 9 versus 8s. It's not the worst hand to be all in against pocket 8s. But it's going to need to hit a king or a 9 on the river. And isn't going to get there. We're going to lose Baggers 65 in 41st place. And Don't Give a Buck adds more to their stack.
Robbie Blair's out there, Leigh. What's a guy got to do to get a walk on the big blind here? Robbie, who are you playing as? Let us know what your username is, and we'll add that to the list as well. Jake Marsden, Leigh. A random question, but hope someone has an answer. So I saw this in the Facebook group. I finished 10th in the main last week. Great result, by the way. Unlucky not to make the final. Wondering when the results will be added to the Hendon Mob database. Cheers. Well, they'll presumably have been submitted, Leigh. So it'll be sat over with the Hendon Mob guys just to get them up. But I would have thought shortly. Yeah, Jake, shortly.
To be fair, they were picking up all the results
day by day, right?
From Dusk Till Dawn on a daily basis. So I'm guessing, I don't know, unless it's just the final day ones haven't been picked up yet. But I kind of thought they were doing it on a daily basis. But we'll get onto that and just double check what the situation is. But it should say the rest of them were going up on a daily basis. So
you will soon have that flag, my friend.
Yeah. Di is all in with Ace King against the 9s of Mr. Fresh and has flopped an ace and avoids one of those pesky 9s. So Di's going to get a double up through Mr. Fresh from Russia, who seems to be quite happy passing chips around at the moment.
Robbie Blair, Leigh, is Cornholio.
Righty-ho.
Sounds like the sort of Brazilian player that Everton will be looking to sign in January.
I think you'll find it's a Beavis and Butthead reference.
Detail. To be honest, I think that's the demographic that they're looking in for defenders. Everton are too good to go down.
Who was that, Des? Sorry, that was Cornelio. Who'd you say?
So that's Robbie Blair.
Robbie Blair, lovely, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Gary says Beavis and Butthead as well. I hope she's not talking about you and I, Leigh. Go on, die.
So Smokey's all in against Kings into Mr. Fresh's aces. I think Carl's going to give Mr. Fresh a few chips back here. And that is going to very much be the case. We've just lost Paul Haycock in 40th place. Would you be surprised to know that Frank is still the short stack in this tournament, but has managed to ladder 8 places?
No.
I'm not surprised in the least, to be honest.
Well, unfortunately,
in other news, water is wet.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just bust in 39th.
Unlucky Frank.
So cracking run from Frank, though. Finishes in 39th place tonight. Very, very well done to him. And Smokey's all in. So Kyle's all in against a Wackham, which is Alexander's with pocket 8. It's ace 10 for Smokey. Smokey. Oh, Kyle's turned the flush.
He's arrived.
So it's looking good. And that's going to be Alexander out, Awaken out in 38th place, and Kyle he's sort of doubled up. Then
he's in good shape now,
again, and is double back up again. Is back as chip leader again at the moment, Kyle. So
nice, very nice.
We're down to 37 now.
So Leigh, not suggesting you look through a list for this, but do you recognise either of these two? Vej Kojak or Harry Poltit. Do you recognise either of those user IDs?
Yeah. So, have you staked them, Stefan? Because I think they were both up for staking on this tournament. So, so that could be the case. They are. So Veko Jack is in 26th at the moment with 12 bigs, and I don't think Harry Potter is still in. I know he played last night because he was talking about staking. No, as bust. So
I think you're right, Leigh. Stefan did in fact stake both of the boys or girls.
I thought as much. Yeah, I thought as much. So I saw their names up on the staking on the tournament lobby. So Veko Jack, it was selling 30-odd%. His little message in his what he was selling says, "I just think I'm good." He said, "I've watched YouTube." Well, if that doesn't sell it to you folks, I don't know what will. So
seems solid.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the way to look at it. So in the top 10 from the UK. So we mentioned Kyle Dobson. Also, True Babatega is still there, which is Eddie, and Meiji Foldagam, who's Naz, still in the mix. Also, LA Magical and Gypsy Shrimp, both from the UK. Don't know who either of you guys are. So if you're LA Magical or Gypsy Shrimp and watching the stream and want to give us a shout out so we know who you are from the UK, that'd be great. And also Old School 69 from the Netherlands. Would love to know who that is as well, because I'm guessing it might well be somebody connected to the Dutch side in the Worlds.
I'm so not going to be surprised if some of them respond to us, Leigh. Oh, you got a big hand here.
Our Broken Toy, which is Joseph Dunlop, is all in with jacks against Kadinsky's queens, and unfortunately, Joe's going to be in a whole bit of bother there, and it's going to be down to one big with that one. Yeah, unfortunately. So is going to now be very much the short side. May even just be shoving. No, it's going to hold off this hand under the gun, but it's going to be all in the big blind next hand. Di Farrell is all in and has got that one through. Yeah, she does. Gets that one through.
Talking of old school. Talking of old school, sorry, Leigh, shout me if you've got an all-in, but talking of old school, Simon says, was he watching Annette's YouTube? And of course, Annette's YouTube was a favourite old school moment for us on the stream about 2.5 years ago when everybody was, suffering from the plague.
Yeah, it was. So Annette helped us get through lockdown, didn't she? Yeah, very much so.
She certainly did.
Some more than others, yeah.
So Lou Atkinson says, LA Magical here. So Lou is LA Magical.
Oh, well, Lou, keep it going. Great stuff.
Yeah,
so,
nice play.
Good luck to you. Yeah, keep it. Say you've been up there and currently second in chips with 1.7 million. So,
just as a matter of interest, Lou, how did you find the stream? I mean, have you picked it up from the group, or just let us know how you knew this thing was running? Robbie says, busted ace-ace versus ace-8. Unlucky, my friend. Good run indeed.
Yeah.
So on we go. We're now down to 36 or maybe 35 now, because actually Broken Toy. So Joe Dunlop's just bust on one of the other tables. On that table, though, is quietly going about his business, just raising it under the gun here. Top right of your screen is one Swindad, which is Steve Redford.
Did you?
Yeah, just quietly ticking along with sort of 18 bigs before this hand. So, yeah.
Did you see, gents, that Steve's daughter, Becky, won another world championship in swimming?
Oh, amazing.
A couple of weeks back.
Amazing.
I mean, geez, what a talent.
Absolutely. Just again, Gypsy Shrimp is all in with 70 against the ace-5 of Alex, 27.55, and is going to bust Alex and add to his stack. Eddie's all in with pocket nines against King 4. King 4 is the one at risk here. Needs to avoid on the river, and does. So Eddie's going to go up to 30 bigs, and Haki is going to bust as well. So that's another 2 gone. So we're down to 32 now.
Fantastic switching, Leigh. I've got to say, you're keeping us across all of the action here. And I loved the way you referred to some of the tables that we're not covering as outer tables a short while ago. For that touch of ultra-realism, outer tables. Absolutely fabulous. Love it.
Best way to do it. We just mentioned LA Magical, and there is
that's Lou.
Now on that table, on table Acer, and actually you've got the second and third in chips on that table now, because Smokey's there as well. So Kyle's moved to that table as well. So it's as they start crunching down here, as we get getting close to it. We're only about another 5 exits, and we'll be down to 3 tables, which means I'll have then everybody in front of me easily to see what's going on and be able to shout out as we get bust outs as they come.
Jamie says, well played, Joe Dunlop. Hope he was wearing his new hoodie whilst playing. I'm sure he was wearing the Coldstream patch
Joe
proudly.
He bought the last of the white hoodies on.
Did he really? Did he?
On Saturday night. I'll be honest, I doubt he remembers doing it. If I'm brutally honest, I doubt very much he will even remember buying that hoodie. But he very, very much did, and very kindly generated another little bit of money towards Hearts of Queens and Talk Club, who both got £150 each out of the merchandise profits from last week in Nottingham. But I'm not sure whether Joe would really have necessarily remembered. Solitary Man's got Queen Jack and is all in against the Pocket Kings of Connor 8-8. And looks like Connor 8-8 is going to get a double up through Solitary Man. Connor 8-8 from the UK. Don't think I know who you are. So again,
good hand, sir.
Another one who's out there, running deep in this. Yeah, no, you're on my list, but I haven't got a name against you. So if you're about and want to let us know.
White Hoodiegate, Leigh. White Hoodiegate. Apparently, the lad got tomato sauce on it the next morning. Disaster. He wants a refund, Leigh. He wants the charity money back. He wants an apology. He wants the bacon sandwich back as well.
If you're going to buy a white hoodie, I mean, honestly, what can I say?
If you're going to buy a white hoodie, don't drink. Simple as that.
Yeah. Peroni's is all in from the UK with 3.9 bigs. Again, was up near the chip leaders for a good while in this tournament, but gets that one through. Interesting. When you see the chip stacks there, 33 bigs, 20 bigs, but does get that one through.
He got it through Stefan Fischer's horse. Love that. We're going to talk the genuine, authentic poker language here, Leigh. Vaco Jack is now a horse.
Yeah. Stefan. I'm assuming Stefan played this event. I didn't ask. Stefan wants hoodies with zippers next. I think you'll find they're not called hoodies, Stefan. I think you'll find they're called zoodies.
Oh, I like that. Is that the ones that you sort of zip it all the way up to the prod?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. So cool.
One of them. I like it.
OCL 95 is all in here. I'm going to quickly jump though, because LA Magical Lou is all in with pocket nines against the Queen 8 of Bumblebee, and it's 2 8s on the flop, which means Lou is going to double up. Lou is going to double up Bumblebee up to 23 bigs. Still got 33 bigs back.
Decent shape, Leigh.
So not
decent
the end of the world. Meanwhile, back OCL 95, this 3.5 bigs is into Coroni's big blinds. Only got 5 bigs behind, so you're probably going to let that go, aren't you? Unless you've woken up with an absolute monster of a hand, and you'll move on to the next one. And on we go. I'm going to jump back to table 1 though, because Lou and Kyle are both playing a hand here. Kyle raised it up under the gun, called by Lou in the big blind. So they've seen a flop of Queen 7 ace. I did make that last bit up because I didn't see what they did pre. But
I was going to sound super impressed. How the hell does he know that?
Sounds right, doesn't it? Yeah. So
you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. They haven't got time to respond. When we do this sort of stuff live, often I can go to the table and go, just join the table. This is happening. And they all look at me and go, that's not what bloody happened.
Not at all. Who is this guy?
Yes,
who is this guy?
Nobody else knows that, and I sound good.
With his strange gimbal.
So
Carrie said,
is all in.
Oh, hello.
Coroni's is all in for the small blind. Eddie, though, in the big blind, it was another 3 bigs to call.
Discipline.
True Babatega, and he makes the folds. He's got 27 bigs behind. So
he must have been sat with some Brutal holding, Leigh.
Yeah, we are down to 30 players here, so we're only a few off. Actually, we're playing 8-handed, aren't we? So we've got to go down to 24. So we've got about another 6 to go.
Continuing hoodie gate, Leigh, Kerry said, "I got the last blue shirt and it was a 3XL. It was indeed. We could have hung it back up with Kerry in it, and nobody would have known it was that big."
Yeah, it was. But she was desperate to get a T-shirt, so she said she'd have that one and would be quite happy and content. Yeah, crazy that. There we go. See, Carl says, "Good guess." Of course you did, Carl.
He could have said anything, Leigh. He could have said anything. You wouldn't know.
No, absolutely not. No, definitely not. But yeah, we. To everyone that bought a bit of merchandise last week, it was all for a good cause. I mean, we didn't make a penny out of it. All kind of my time and effort to kind of get it all designed and printed and all that was all done free of, was part of it. And basically every single penny that we raised, and people were generously donating more than.
Oh shit! Do you know what, Leigh? I kid you not. I've been back. How long have I been back? I've been back.
You've not even given Shana a T-shirt yet, have you, or whatever you bought for her? What did you buy? I can't remember what you bought for her in the end. Still in your bag, isn't it? Bloody hell! Honestly, useless.
I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely.
And you know what,
useless.
Leigh? Do you know what? I tried to sell that. I tried to sell that dust on several times to other people just to raise a bit more money. But
hey, Stu, do you want it, Stu? It matches your eyes, honestly.
These were lovely, Leigh. What a great initiative. Where's the camera? Oh, there it is. What a great initiative. Lots of people walked away with the merchandise. They really liked it. So fair play. Good effort, sir.
It was good stuff. And we will get some more stuff designed and done up as well. Something, and the guys wearing there's a story around the Simon Brooke T-shirts from last year, but the Team Gotham guys all have got Simon Brooke T-shirts, the Andy Warhol style ones, and of course 2 of them picked up bracelets and 2 of them medaled as well. So all their winners' photos are all got them wearing the T-shirts as well. Eddie's all in with pocket 9s against Caroni's Queen 10. Oh, Jack on the flop though means Caroni's in a great spot for a double up through Eddie, and he's going to get that. Yeah, so well done to Caroni's.
Oh, Leigh, bad news from Guy Gullen, who's out there. He says, "Just got over my horrendous bad beat tonight." Were we following Guy? Did we have his user ID? Do we know what his bad beat was? Guy, give us some more details, just in case.
I think Guy is standard I'm just going to double check, but I'm pretty sure
because we've seen a few bad beats, haven't we? We've seen a few.
He's Gullen Z on here, so I haven't seen him, so it must have been early on before we went live with the show.
Bad beat, tell us all about it.
Yeah, we'd love to know, honestly. Anyone got 50p for the meter? Yeah, not a problem whatsoever.
Listen, Kerry says,
got a hand here.
Go.
Just got Carl in a hand here against Bumblebee. Bumblebee's just fired out 3.5 bigs into an 8.5 pot, and Carl's going to let that go. So Tile's now got about 20 bigs. Average stack is 18 bigs. Chip leader has only got 49 bigs. So this is quite, it's quite condensed here with 27 players remaining, Stu. Wouldn't you say? There's not huge, chip leader flying away. We're going to get OCL 95 is all in against Caroni's Ace Queen against Jack Deuce. It's the Jack Deuce that's going to be ahead, and Ace Queen turns an ace.
Don't do it.
And it's going to be good. Meanwhile, I'm going to jump because Ace has got pocket queens up against the Ace Queen of Gypsy Shrimp. Flops a queen. Needs to avoid does avoid on the river, and it's going to be a double up for Acer, and he's going to be up to 18 bigs now, which puts him up around average stack and puts Gypsy Shrimp down to an average stack. So they're pretty much evens now. Over on the table number 3, Connor 88 is all in with Ace 5 against Shadow 2023's Ace Jack. Rivers a 5. Connor 88 gets a double up through the Shadow 2023 from Canada, down to 2.5 bigs now. Shadow 2023 are likely to be shoving out of their small blind, possibly next hand.
But
keep
Leigh,
an eye on that one.
Jamie said he believes you've missed a trick. Joe Dunlop would have bought that pink T-shirt as well. You missed a trick there. One Simon Brooks says, "I do not endorse those limited edition special, legendary even Simon Brooke T-shirts." Go Asa!
Yeah, absolutely not.
Guy had pocket jacks, Leigh. The flop was 2-4 Jack, check, queen turn, raise all in, Jack versus 5-3. There was a 6 on the river.
That's dreadful.
Well, that's
unlucky, sir.
That is appalling. Yeah, so we're down to 27. So we're just 3 off breaking down to 3 tables, and then we'll be able to monitor everything.
It feels like soccer Saturday, and Jeff's telling Leigh, you should retire immediately. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, definitely. It's unbelievable, Asa. It's unbelievable. Yeah. That is for sure. That's all action, isn't it? It's all go because it is pretty shallow here, and it's because it's been allowed to get that way really. Because average stack of 18 bigs, not certainly what I would expect. But old school 69 from the Netherlands is still chip leader with 55 bigs now.
Is Bleach still in, Leigh? Bleach 2277.
Let me see where Bleach. Yeah, Rory still in. Got in 19th. Got 12 bigs. Is on the one table that I'm not
Good
watching.
shape.
But, well, action here. Lou and Kyle are all in. Ace Jack versus Ace Queen, and it's going to be.
Stop it.
Nah,
It's going to be Kyle.
It's going to be. It's going to be Kyle that's going to win that one. It's going to leave Lou on just 4 bigs there now, which puts Kyle back up to 3rd in chips on 40 bigs. That was a spoil in 3. Yeah, really has been. But Kyle Dobson is back up at 40 bigs now and is backfiring out. That's what I love to see, isn't it? It's like, right, okay, got some chips again now. Right, raise. Here we go.
Smash him in.
Let's see what will happen. Di is all in with Ace King. She's run into the pocket 8s of Real Corny. And
good luck, Di.
Just hits a king. So
King,
just needs to avoid
immediately.
An 8. Needs to avoid an 8 on the river. And it'll be a double up for for Di up to about 14
there
bigs.
It goes.
And that has happened.
And Di's in the chat box. Well done, Di.
Superb stuff. Bleach 2277, still got 13 bigs. So still hanging on in there. And meanwhile, another 17 bigs going to Kyle, to Smokey, puts him up to 48 second in chips now through Kaito Inu, Queen, from Japan, who's now down to 7 bigs. So, Di very much still in the mix here. And as I say, 13, she's got sort of 14 bigs, this hand, which is not just far off average at the moment. So very much.
Absolutely.
It doesn't feel like very much, Stu, does it? But actually it's with the dynamic of way the tournament's running at the moment, down to 26 players.
3 tables. Boom.
That's fine, isn't it? Yeah, not an issue.
You want double away from being very well stacked in this site from where people are. So that's a very nice spot to be in a minute. It's a pretty easy game to play from there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait for the eccentric final table theatre tonight, Leigh. If it's anything like last night, it was incredible.
Before then, Gordon Gecko 1-2-3 is all in against Stefan's horse.
Aces.
Ace 5 against King Queen. Spades. We're looking for a 10 or a spade. And it's not going to come, which means Gordon Gecko 1-2-3 is going to bust. Vecco Jack. And Swim Dad is all in. King 6 against Ace Jack of Shadow 2023. And it's going to be Steve doubling up Shadow 2023. Only for about 5 bigs. So that was all that pot was worth. But we're now down to 25 players. So one more and we will be down to the magical 24, 3 tables.
So Di is saying 14 bigs for me is like 100 bigs. And Carl has an interesting question. Has the awful, in his opinion, river card animation been discussed? Not even an option to turn it off. Is there an option to turn it off?
Yeah, there is.
Each individual players, I'm pretty sure you can do. It's in there.
Yeah,
obviously, we like to see it for the stream. Bit of a laugh.
Hang on, all in, and Kyle's all in with Ace King against
Lou.
These two are just at it, haven't they? They're absolutely at it. And the Queens are going to get a double up through. Yeah, if you're an APAT Platinum member, then you're able to turn it off. I mean,
is that the $2.99 a month option, Leigh?
That's $299 a month. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Happy days.
and you can pay in 12 monthly installments. Not a problem whatsoever.
I thought you could.
It's only 32.9% APR on that. Des finances all of those for
Very
us.
reasonable.
So yeah.
So Kerry is saying you can turn the squeeze off pre-flop, but not on the river. I thought you could.
No, you can't. Yeah,
Can
no,
you
you
not?
can't. You cannot turn the squeeze on the river off. It's not an option.
Listen, I've got a bootlegged version of GG from Indonesia. It works on mine.
You can turn most other stuff off, but that's one of the ones that you can't, unfortunately. K2 Inu Queen is all in. Going to get a call maybe from Carl? No. What about Gypsy Shrimp? Nope. Going to get that one through. So
good news for one A-patter out there, Leigh. Sai is saying Natalie is in the money at the EPT side event. Well played, Brommers.
Hello, Natalie.
In there.
Get in. Quite right.
Absolutely get in there. OCL 95 is all in on this board. King 7, Queen 7. It's Naz, major fold again, who'd made the raise out the small blind on this turn and decides to let that go. So we're still one off the money, and little OCL shows a little cheeky jack there.
Oh, cheeky jack. Animation apparently made in China, said Damien. I think he might be right, Leigh.
Lux Lover is all again against Real Corny. It's King Queen against Ace 9. The Ace 9 is at risk here, but as long as can avoid a King or a Queen, is going to get a double up, and does. Meanwhile, Wrecker is all in against Kato Inu Queen. How do you even pronounce RECRRCR? I mean, what am I even supposed to do with that? Seriously? And it looks like they're gonna depart anyway. No, they're not. They're going to double up K2. Oh crikey, huge action on this other table. So
here we go.
Shadow is all in for 4 bigs. Real Corny has reshoved for 22 bigs. Just the blinds to get through. Dai's folded. Kadinsky's folded, saying I'm running cold. Real Corny is throwing our angry emojis out there. I mean, this is serious. It's all going down here. Running hot has got ace something. Get you out the way. Ace Queen.
The fives are ahead, Leigh.
It's the fives at risk here.
Oh, there's all sorts of opportunities here.
Counterfeiting, all sorts of stuff going on here on the river.
54%.
Too much. That'll do. King will be enough. King will be enough. Meanwhile, back on the table one, Wrecker with Ace Jack has run into the King Queen of La Magical, who got there. So LA Magical has won that one. So all of a sudden, we're now down to I think 23. I think with those 2 bust outs, which means hopefully I can now get all 3 tables up. For those of you on watching, let's see. Yeah. I don't think we've lost anybody else. Just quickly looking through the board now. So anyone on Bleach 2277 watch, they're on a roll, folks.
Come on, Rory.
Up to 4th in chip. So when I think
nice.
had about 12 bigs. Well, has now got 27 bigs, and that's put him fourth in chips, which is just absolutely nuts.
And there's Lou as well, Leigh. He was down to smoke a minute ago, 2 bigs, now up over 15 bigs. Good shape again.
Absolutely. So Rory was in this hand. He's got the chip leader to his left. So there's Bleach 22. So now on Dai's table, we've got Connor 88 from the UK there that we spoke about earlier on. Mr. Fresh from Russia. Don't Give a Buck from the UK. Real Corny, who we're talking about that last hand from Germany, who is currently 3rd in chips. So these are the remaining players. 23 of them now, which means they've all locked up £50. So doubled their money already. But say we're get on that final table, and it's some really big payouts there. Major fold again, Ace 8 all in against the Ace King of Coronis, and that's going to be done for Naz unless he can get a king for a chop.
Good night to the Fisher King, Leigh. He's off to bed, and apparently in 20 minutes, Kerry's turning 53. Happy birthday in advance of the big moment, Kerry. Best years of your life.
Dazn Dumage is all in with queens, and Rory's got ace 10. Going to need to hit an ace. Otherwise, it's going to be a double up for Days, and it is going to be a double up. Naz is all in for 3.4 bigs. Just got Steve Redfern to get through in the big blind, and Steve folds. It's got 9 bigs behind, so it would have been a quarter of his stack to make the call there. If you've got nothing, then you can fold and move on to the next hand. So Eddie's still in there. So True Babatega is still going strong. Kyle Dobson is second in chips. Smokey, who we've chatted to in the chat box and been following earlier on. LA Magical, Lou, who was in the chat as well earlier on, still going in this. All looking for a top 3 finish here to pick up an APAP medal, and of course the winner is going to pick up the remaining WCOAP 2023 bracelet for this year, plus a rather cool £1,300, which is not bad for a bit of work on a Saturday night. I mean,
very nice. Bit of fun, Lee. Bit of fun.
Yeah, maybe 4 and a bit hours poker on a Saturday night, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. Nice,
Tell me, Lee,
nice work.
Any of these remaining players that we know of, and we know we're not going to get a final result on this tonight, but impacting the player of the series leaderboard.
Well, Naz is a definite. So we know Naz is only a couple of points off that. So he's an absolute definite in the mix. I think probably he's the only one that can probably affect that very top. But of course, we do need to just confirm a couple of the names from last night's tournament as well to be 100% sure on that. So.
And we'll have to do similar, I guess, for tonight's tournament as well. So official result will be probably at the head of next week, rather. Steve Redfern's all in with King Jack up against Queen Jack. 9. He's hit a Jack, so just means still got to avoid a Queen and a 10 though. And he does that. So Lux Lover from the Ukraine is going to bust in 23rd, and Steve's going to add a few chips to his stack, puts him up about 13 bigs now. Meanwhile, Gypsy Shrimp with 10-8 has got, I don't think it was an all-in from Bumblebee, but certainly won that pot against Bumblebee. Very next hand, and Steve's all-in again from mid-position for 13 bigs. It's into Eddie's big blind, True Babatega, and he gets out the way. Eddie would have picked up some points in the team comp, I want to say. Lee, did he? I mean, does he have points elsewhere? Could 9 points give him a?
No, because he wasn't top of that. So so he might well have picked up some points because he actually played really well in the team event. Eddie did.
He did. So he couldn't win this, of course, but he might very well increase his place in the leaderboard elsewhere.
No, even. Because the other thing is, so even if you've only had one result, the guys that are top on 18 points have had three event caches, and the number of event caches, when I say caches, the number of event top 9s counts first in the count back, and then if it's the same, then it goes on the number of first, number of seconds, number of thirds. So Stefan is currently at the top on count back on having won a tournament because they both got 3 top 9 finishes. Because Dan Williams was asking me earlier on, would 18 points be enough if he won this tonight? Because obviously he won the PLO 456 in Nottingham, and that would have only given him 2 top 9 finishes, so it wouldn't have been enough. Lou is all in with Ace Jack against Kaczynski's Ace King. It's the Ace Jack that's at risk here, so it's going to need to be a Jack and only a Jack on the river, or we're going to lose Lou in 22nd place. We are, not to be. So. Cracking run for LA Magical.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Very well done to you. Decent run for Lou Atkinson. Very well played. Oh, actually, no, what we're talking about is that it wasn't at risk. Did that
no, he's got chips, so quite...
I literally looked away as it wasn't that, but did it chop? Stu, did you see that?
I honestly didn't see what happened here.
I thought he was all in, so I think it must have chopped on the river. I literally.
Do you know he might have? Lou did say sorry, and the other guy said good play, so maybe he just got there.
Yeah, might
Chop,
well have done.
says Lou.
Meanwhile, Swim Dad busts OCL, and so Steve Redfern's now up to 24 bigs, which is dangerous. Above average stack. So very dangerous. So it was a chop in the end. I'd literally looked away to go and check something, and hadn't even thought. I just literally saw that he needed a jack up against it. I hadn't even thought about the chop was an option. So and Lou's just it was a chop. So
Steve Redfern won an APAT national title, a UK amateur championship back in 2009, and he was the captain of Your England team, Stu, that won the world title in 2013. A lot of success with APAT over the years. Hasn't played that much with us recently. Of course, he's had a lot on his hands elsewhere, particularly with the swimming. All of his kids, super strong swimmers. Lovely to see him back and doing well.
Yeah, definitely. I say, never forget that England team. So always got a soft spot for Steve.
Good lad.
Is
Good
all
lad.
in and Die's all in, but gets that one through. Gypsy Shrimp seems to have kind of resorted, even with third biggest chip stack, to just shoving pre. Okay, who
Just
wants
take
to
all
call
the game
me
out, but just sod it. You want to play, we'll play for all your chips.
Who wants to call me here? Naz is all in on table 2. Got to get through days of Dumage. It's about 4.5 bigs. It's only got 14.3 behind. So
third of his
it's not a
stack.
straightforward one. Yeah. And decides to fold in the end. So we're down to 21 players now. On this Saturday night, about to roll into a Sunday morning here in the UK. But wherever you're watching the stream, hope you're enjoying it. And if you're still playing, good luck to the 21 remaining. This is the final event of the World Championship of Amateur Poker 2023, event number 25. The final chance to pick up a WCOAP bracelet for this year. But if you enjoyed playing with APAT in Nottingham last week, or even just playing live, we've got plenty of events coming up this autumn. We're going to be in Cardiff, we're going to be in Ash, we're going to be in Malta, and then we're back in Nottingham in November. So 4 events happening in the next couple of months. If you want to get involved with APAT, just go on to apat.com and you'll find all the details there. And we'll continue, obviously, with our events on GG for the rest of the year.
So Stefan has obviously gone off to bed, early start in the morning. Asa says, I don't want to mention what time I need to be up at in the morning. Ouch. Guy says, see you in Cardiff. We will indeed. I think that's going to be a cracking event, Leigh. It's creeping up upon us. And I've seen lots of players who haven't been to APATs in a little while sort of saying, do you know what? I'm going to go to Cardiff. Should be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always is. And Le Croup's casino in Cardiff is a lovely little casino to play in, with a card room up in the on the first floor upstairs. And it's they're looking forward. They've already got their schedule out. I think I saw on socials the other day they've got what's going on in the next couple of weeks, and we are great big in red at the bottom of their schedule for the next couple of weeks. So with the 2 day ones on the Friday night and the Saturday afternoon, and then day 2 on the Sunday, and then a couple of side events for good measure as well.
Yeah.
So
Asa says, I believe.
Just Gypsy Shrimp is at this again. It's a raise out the small.
Big raise.
At the button from Smokey.
Crikey.
Shrimp from the small blind just shoves. And says, right, what are you going to do? Mr. Fresh from Russia has gone chip leader at the moment with just 36 bigs. So the chip leader has pretty much got twice average stack at the moment. So it's it's pretty shallow here. Naz is all in with King 9 against Eddie's King Queen. Couple of clubs though on the board gives Naz some options here. 25% chance of winning this, a jack or a club. There's a club. I see green.
Wowzers.
And it's going to be a double up for Naz through
Not
Eddie.
like Naz to just get there.
Yeah, and puts him up to 13 bigs and Eddie down to 13 bigs. So just below average stack now. On table 3, Di is just reconnecting. She's putting another 50p in the meter. So hopefully she can get reconnected.
Do you remember when Di used to call in from the States, down in Georgia? That was when the show was international, Leigh. Do you not remember back in those days?
Yeah. When we still are in many ways.
Hello, Di. Can you hear us? It was a bit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eddie picks up a few chips whilst we're watching Di try. I won't just leave it on Di trying to reconnect. I'll let you know if she does. Yeah, we'll move on to one of the other tables for a minute.
Asa did say, I believe Rodders is going to make an appearance. Steve Roderick, who put a post up on the Facebook saying, haven't played in a while, didn't like my exit, want to have another go. It should be fun if he comes. Great player, Steve Roderick.
Just so you know, table 1 is not frozen. That's just Gypsy Shrimp with his chips in front again. So this is a different.
He likes to get him in, doesn't he?
Here going on, yeah, completely different hand here. So it's been a raise by Kyle. Smokey's raised just 2 bigs, and Gypsy Shrimp has gone all in. And Kyle's having a long old decision here.
He's probably going to end up calling with Jack High, Leigh.
Unless he's got connection issues as well. Not sure, but we'll wait and see whether that plays out. So it's folded all the way back round to him. And
no, I think he's just struggling with the
I think he's
continual. Ace King, in fairness.
Shows Ace King to show, keeps it honest to say, look, I've got a hand here. So on we go. Down to 21 players left.
Di is saying Wi-Fi and Travel Lodge, PMSL. fair enough. Fair enough. If you're playing in a Travel Lodge, that is fair enough. Oh, Damien says, can't wait for the APAT Maltese Championship. They're coming fast and furiously.
Yeah, they are. I will be over in Malta for that one. Looking forward to it at the end of October.
See, Yvonne had a deep run at one of those EPT events as well, finishing 10th in a side event. Nice.
So let's have a look. So I'm just trying to see. So we've been sent... Anybody able to see that easier than I can? In the show chat, guys, can you see how much Natalie's bagged up?
Oh, let me have a look.
That looks like 67,000.
Very nice.
Cool. So bagged up a day 2 stack. Very nice indeed. Well done, Natalie. Over in Barcelona at the moment. We had a whole discussion. We had a whole discussion about Hearts of Queens. We do country flags, and the discussion of whether it should be the Spanish flag or the Catalonian flag when in Barcelona.
Catalonian, Leigh.
That's a whole conversation you're not getting involved in.
Yeah, I'd have both of them. Yeah. Take advantage. I'd have, like Dominic French, I'd have both of them. Kyle says, I folded ace 10 suited to his shove with ace king, so nearly clicked the call after folding a big hand 2 hands ago to him. So obviously a little bit of frustration creeping in there. Kyle was quite lucky to get away from ace 10 there. We're all sort of thinking, Gypsy, this is the way he's playing it.
Yeah, right fold, but
good fold.
It's a good fold indeed. So
Di says this is it, guys. So table die, Leigh. It's going to kick off soon.
Well, she's just got one through and it's back up to 6 bigs. So Asa is all in though, and he's got pocket 8s against the 6s of Kaczynski. Just needs to avoid one of those pesky 6s on the river, and will be a double up for Asa. And does avoid that. So Aces moves up to 16 bigs now, which is pretty much average stack. And Kaczynski is down to 7 bigs. So real Corny from Germany is now chip leader at the moment. Who say we saw a lot of earlier on. He's over on, or they're over on table die.
Well, I tell you, Di's in the chat box saying, come on, Asa. And Asa's in the chat box saying, come on, Di. It's like they've got a mutual appreciation society going on there.
Yeah, you'd have thought they'd been in some sort of team thing together recently or something. Yeah, there's some sort of loving going on. It's get
a grip of yourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes you sick, doesn't it? I would say get a room, but Di clearly already has.
She's already got a room, Leigh. 550 side event, we think, is what Natalie is playing over in Barcelona.
Small stakes for Natalie, that.
Oh, it's pretty. That's juicy stakes. I mean, that's not cheap.
And Naz is all in for 11 bigs, but just blind on blind. He's just got fired it into Steve Redford's big blind. It'd be just over half of Steve's stack to make the call here. So think Steve will just take his time and then make the fold, which he does. Kaczynski is all in under the gun on table 1, and a few players to get through here who are stacked up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gypsy Shrimp. Well, it's actually Lou who's going to make the call. Is Gypsy Shrimp going to get out of the way? Who's chip leader at the moment?
Lou's got to be pretty strong here, Leigh. What do we think he's holding? What's his range?
I think King.
Kings.
I think Kings.
Yeah.
And he's up against 8. It's the 8's at risk. Just needs to avoid an 8, and Lou will bust Kaczynski. One more card to come. And that will do. Oh no! See, the 3 is a perfect one. If it had done the slow on it, because a 3 looks
looks like an 8.
A 3 looks like an 8 right until the very last second. But I think it's in the control of the player that's all in. So to be honest, if they quickly flick it, it flips over quite quickly. If they choose to really slowly peel it, then that's what everybody else sees. Meanwhile, Rory is all in with Ace King against the Jacks of Old School 69, and got a few things to avoid here: a 10 or a Jack, and that looks like an Ace to me on the river. There we go. That's a slow peel if ever you saw it.
Definitely it does.
Yeah, there we go. So
there we go.
So Bleach 2277 for all you Bleach fans out there, it's just got a double up.
Chipping up.
And we know there's a lot of you out there.
Chipping up, players on a break, Leigh.
Bleach. Yeah, we are 5 to the hour, so we're down to 20 players with a couple of hands just playing out, Des, but the players are going to be on another break.
Di says, Leigh, what's not to love? I'm not sure Asa would want to stay in the Ritz Travel Lodge, Cornwall. I don't know. Carl says, multi-tabling at the moment, watching all 3 tables and the stream, full value. It's what Saturday nights are for. And Jamie simply says, boom, Bleach. Let's go. Let's play the Talk Club video because we like what they do. We're on a break. This takes about 2 minutes, folks, and it might speak to somebody, which is not a bad thing.
What is Talk Club? Talk Club is a talking and listening community for men. A mental fitness movement, like going to the gym, but for your mind. It helps you check in with how you feel and own it. It's all based around how are you out of 10 and explaining why. So, how does it work? It begins online. Go to talkclub.org, join the online community, and find a club near you. Groups are held in private areas of public spaces where men feel comfortable, like above pubs or gyms. There are normally 8 to 10 men to a talk. The captain leads the group and reminds everyone to switch off their phones, to respect each other and give no advice. Everything stays confidential between the group. There's a talking ball so everyone can take their turn to talk, and most importantly, not talk over each other. Each man talks while everyone else listens and then passes the ball on to the next man. The captain begins with how are you out of 10, 1 being low, 10 being on top of the world. Then try and explain why. After everyone has talked, we then move on to the second round. What are the positives in your life? What moments from the last week are you really grateful for? Family, job, hobby. Then it's, what are your plans for mental fitness this week? Sleep, diet, exercise. And then before we finish, check out numbers. What are you now? This helps us to see that we can feel lighter than when we started. But it doesn't end there. You might want to join a talk and move group where you check in, do exercise, then check out. Or at the other end of the scale, need to talk more. We now have Talk Club group therapy run by qualified therapists. Talk, Move, Therapy. Join us at talkclub.org.
There you go, guys. There's always someone out there to talk to, which is important in this day and age.
Very, very simple video, simple message, and say it. And we will keep kind of keep putting that message out there because it's something we very much feel strongly about, and it resonates with some people, or it might be that it's with somebody that you know. But they're there, talkclub.org. If anybody needs to use their services, just check them out.
I like the thought of starting a session like that, and it's just chatting, right? Which is never a bad thing. But what are you out of 10, right? So how are you feeling right now? And then when you've had a chance to share your concerns of the day, you leave the session answering the same question. I quite like the thought of that. I think that sounds super simple, but yet it speaks a lot. There's a lot of information in those two numbers, I would have thought. So we do like that.
And we do. And it is about that. It's about being able to talk, make some plans. No, you're not the only one out there that's going through whatever it is you're going through, and trying to find a way through it. That's all you can do. Doesn't always have to be solutions. Doesn't always have to be. It's very clear that it's not about giving advice. It's about listening and helping support people make the plans that they want to make. So that's what the guys do, and they're doing it very, very well. So
Leigh, Simon is out there and says, "Go Kyle Dobson, a representative of Tim Bobbin, UTC." We're doing a bobbin. Go Kyle.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Not a good day for Burnley today, but Kyle's making up for it with a decent run in this. And as you can see on the screen, currently 5th in chips. Lou Atkinson there in 4th. LA Magical, and Steve Redfern has just made that top 9 at the moment with 1.5 million, 15 bigs. So all to play for. Old School 69 from the Netherlands there in 8th, who we've been watching a fair bit of earlier on.
10 seconds left, guys. We are coming back, and I think this should go pretty quickly now. Leigh?
Yeah, I think so. When we're at, average stack is down to 15 bigs. This has dragged a little bit, to be honest. So the structure is spot on, is as per our main event structure. I think the players have been clinging on a little bit here, and
the shorties have held a little.
They would be. Yeah, they have. Yeah, but we're certainly going to see. I'm looking around now, and I'm seeing a number of players that are under 10 bigs. So we're going to see. We're going to have to see some action here. That is for sure.
Oh, bless her cotton socks. Di Farrell first into the chat. Happy birthday, Kerry, and we would echo that.
There we go. Yeah,
many happy returns, Kerry.
And Asa is all in with pocket 8s, and he's run into the ace 10 of Lou, and just needs to avoid an ace or a 10 on the river, and Asa will get a double up, and does that, and it's going to put Lou down onto about 5 bigs now.
Lou's been there before, Leigh. He bounces.
Yeah, this is where the situation. Di is all in with ace king against jack 9 for Mr. Fresh, chip leader, and what river card! Goodness me, 10 on the river.
Jesus.
And Mr. Fresh, our chip leader, is going to bust Di.
Unlucky Di
in 20th place. Really unlucky there, Di. There was a flush draw out there as well. There was a lot to avoid as that ball played out, but a superb run from Di, finishing in 20th place.
Well, Di's been on a rush of strong results, Leigh, and I certainly wasn't counting against her tonight. Bunch of medals recently, final tables, tough beat there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're still on that table, aren't we? Yeah, so it's 9-6 of Old School against King 10 for Connor 888. Connor just needs to avoid the 9 or the 6, really, and we'll get a double up and leave Old School on 5.5 bigs, and does that. You're going to see a lot of these shoves now from the kind of the 5 to 10 big blind stacks. It's just inevitable that's going to happen. Gordon Gecko 1, 2, 3 is all in for 15 bigs on table 2. Show you that as that's playing out. I think that's got through. It has. We'll quickly scoot back to table 3 because I'm going to guess Old School's going to shove their 5 bigs, and they have done. There's a raise from Mr. Fresh to 2 bigs. So I think if the blinds get out of the way, Mr. Fresh is going to call this off as chip leader. You're not going to fold 3.5. You're not. I've got an all in the call, which is Kyle and Lou as well. Ace King versus Ace Deuce. I'll watch this one play out first. I think Old School's going to get a double up. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty much done there, Leigh.
Yeah, we've lost Lou, though. Lou Atkinson has just bust in 19th place at the hands of Kyle Dobson. Smokey as up to 25 bigs. Old School's going to get a double up there through Mr. Fresh. And so we're going to be down to 18 players now.
Unlucky
so
Lou.
well played to Lou. You were kind of there, and you were. And I did look back to check whether it hadn't been chopped again, and I'd called it wrong. But no, this time, unfortunately,
we wouldn't have seen it anyway, Lee.
we're definitely confirmed this time. Lou has departed. Lou Atkinson, LA Magical, in 19th place. So very well done to you.
Die as modest as ever, Lee says. No, I was lucky to get so far. Good luck to all the APAT players left. Well done, Die.
Absolutely. And so as we creep down towards this final table now, where the money does really start ramping up, everybody on the final table is going to pick up over 100, and it's say right up to 1,300 for the winner tonight. Where it is stack wise now, it's still going to kind of churn along quite quickly. I think. I reckon. Wouldn't you say, Stu? I think 16 bigs is the average stack at the moment. Oh, is he on mute? Have you muted him?
Let's just leave him like that for a while, Lee.
Leave him on mute. Yeah.
Hello.
There we go.
There
It's my old microphone. No, it's 15 bigs is very much getting into push or fall territory. So there's going to be it's quite a simple game for half the field, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, and Chip Leader's only got 30 bigs. So Chip Leader's only got twice average stack, which I think I've said that now two or three times. I think it's been consistent in the way it's played out. So we might get a little bit more play on this final table if we get a few exits now, all happening pretty quickly, as I would expect to happen, really. But then they've got the ability to also just kind of knit this out all the way through.
It's hard to call off for that many big blinds for a lot of people. So
Asa just wins a pot there, and that now puts Asa up to 26 bigs and puts him up to fourth in the chip.
He's just done that pretty quietly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's unheard of territory for me. So now in 10 big blinds.
Yeah. Gordon Gecko's all in with deuces against the king six of Dazna Dumage, and just needs to avoid a king or a six on the river because it can't be a heart now. And does. And Gordon Gecko is going to win that one, and we're going to lose Days in 18th place. So down to 17 runners now.
Bunch of you still out there, guys. We do this on a Sunday night from 10 p.m. If you've enjoyed it tonight, tune in. Come and watch us talk poker. We mostly talk poker.
There might be
quite
a bit
short
more
segments.
There might be a bit more
quite short segments of the show is poker.
I'm very glad that I'll come on tonight and not tomorrow.
We talk about everything, to be fair. But on a Sunday night at 10 p.m. within the APAT Facebook group, come and join.
We won't be on tomorrow night because we've done last night and tonight, so we will be taking it. But then every but we do talk. We talk football, politics, TV, movies, music, news.
Been called out. Been called out immediately. No, you don't. You talk football.
Carey doesn't know. Honestly, don't.
Small bit.
If we started talking athletics, Carey would be well.
Lee, the World Athletics Championship is just finished. What a series of events. Amazing stuff.
Over in Budapest,
Budapest, yeah. So the Swedish pole vaulter Lee, who just wins all the pole vaults. Incredible stuff.
Big cricket game on tomorrow, England against New Zealand in the third T20 international.
We don't talk about cricket here. Lee and I are both Celts. We don't talk about cricket. We don't recognise the game.
I think the fact that one of England's greatest ever captains is Irish.
I'll tell you what.
To be honest, only one of us is going to even talk about rugby for the next couple of months. So it ain't going to be me.
I was going to say the rugby's going to be starting soon, everybody, and I can't promise that we won't not be talking about the rugby.
What's rugby?
No, it's. I think Ireland are going to go in as the number one ranked team in the world, and I tell you what, you may not get a better shot at winning the World Cup than.
You say that, Lee, but you might also not get out of the bloody group that includes Scotland and South Africa. It's a tough opening group, but I don't mind that so much because I think you've got to get up to speed quickly, providing you don't get injuries. Then I'm looking forward to the tourney. Don't think Ireland will win it though.
But it could be worse for Ireland. You could be England or Wales. That's the way you've got to look at it.
Well, I think the Welsh. The Welsh heat map will be slightly higher. I think they've had a better last 6 to 12 months, haven't they? Slightly better?
No, not really. We're not in a good place. So
I was going to say you
we're
beat
not in a good
England,
place.
but then that's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure we could like cobble together an APAT team and beat England in the Union in a minute.
I'm not sure we could, to be honest, Stu. I really don't think so.
Oh, and the NFL starts again in basically next weekend. American football back on the.
Was there a
back on the
draft?
agenda.
Or when did the draft happen, Stu?
What, the NFL draft or
Yeah.
more importantly our fantasy draft? For,
NFL draft. I was thinking predominantly.
happened like earlier in the year. Yeah, there's the guy called Bijou Robinson's a guy I'm most looking forward to seeing. He's just signed for Atlanta, who are one of the worst teams I've seen in my life, but he looks like he could be a generational talent running back.
Wow.
But this is what's great about the NFL. We talk about this about the draft in American sports, is the fact that it creates or it aims to give this balance. So they cannot be a very good team, but all of a sudden you can drop in the number one draft pick, and it can fundamentally change their what they might do the following season. I think
Guys,
it's a great structure.
Hold for a moment. We have genuine poker content coming our way. Jonas has just joined the chat, says hello, and he goes on to ask, what do you guys think? How much chips do I need for the final table? So Jonas Corneliusson, I'm going to assume Danish. I might be wrong. Are there any Danish flags left?
I want to say real corny from Germany. I want to say
could be.
That's quite possible. Yeah.
Jonas, do tell us what your username is, and we will keep.
He's chip leader at the moment with 3 million.
By the way, I am corny.
Yeah.
Spot on, sir.
So, yeah.
I would say you're in reasonably good shape at the moment for a possible final table appearance.
Bleach 22 is all in against the pocket eights of Don't Give a Buck. Needs to just avoid an 8 on the river and does. And that's going to bust Don't Give a Buck in 17th place. And so Rory's going to get a nice addition to his stack there. Meanwhile, all in, and crikey, we've got 2 all in.
It's all happening.
Table. Lost them both. And therefore we're down
Swim
to
Dad needs a
players.
spade.
So we're down to, we're going to be down to 16 players here now. So let me spin this round. Let me find out whether that's a bust. So that'll be a double up for Coronis against Steve Redfern. And we're down to 2 tables now, Des. We're down to 15 runners now.
Fantastic.
So in answer to the question, with 15 players left, we're paying 9 on the final table. So
blimey,
I would suggest...
Do the maths, Leigh. What's average stack on the final table going to be?
Looking at where we're at now, you're probably going to want 4 million is going to be roughly average stack. A little bit less than that, actually 3.7, 3.8. So probably actually real corny has probably got a final table stack now. But hey, if you're chip leader now with 15 players left, you want to be on that final table with the chip
Make
leader.
hay.
So, yeah, absolutely. That's what you want to be doing.
Tell us 5 million. You're laughing.
Tell us, Jonas, how did you hear about the stream? Have you seen that in the APAT Facebook group, or how have you come upon it? It's always interesting to know. Jamie says, "Let's go! It's happening." He's totally committed to the bleach. Is Jamie?
Yeah, all in on the bleach. All in on the bleach.
He's all in on the bleach.
Yeah, don't do that, though, kids. Yeah, it's not good. That's not healthy. Yeah.
He's got Dean Eggs on speed dial, asking for advice as to how bleach should play these final few positions.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gypsy Shrimp has gone chip leader. As we're watching Eddie with 9-8 up against Naz's 10-6 hands, and the 10 high will play for Naz. So on they go. But you look at the players that are still on this, with 15 players left now, and the names that are still here. So Rory's still there, Naz is still there, Eddie's still there, Acer is there still. We mentioned Kyle Dobson, Smokey's still there, Steve Redfern's still on this table. So we're going to have a number of names that we recognise, and obviously new players that we're getting to meet as well. So Jonas being one, who's currently second in chips now, real corny. And of course, all playing for a final table and then a shot at a APAP medal for the top 3. And of course, the WCOAP 2023 bracelet for the winner of this final event of the WCOAP, event number 25.
Oh, so here we go, Leigh. Jonas says he just searched WCOAP on Google, found your record from yesterday on YouTube, and saw that you guys mentioned the messages from Facebook chat, and searched WCOAP on Facebook and found this live stream. We
great.
don't make it easy for people, do we?
Well, I'm not being funny, but I mean, talking about people that, I wonder who they are, and we don't know who they are, and then we find out who they are. Have you seen the latest message that's cropped up?
Oh, it's Karen Balby. Carriones is me. Wow.
What? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well, you kept that one quiet, Karen.
Blimey, O'Reilly.
The best poker player in your house and all that. Yeah, all that nonsense. So, okay, there we go. So,
I've always said Karen's the best player in that
Caronis.
household.
So, Caronis with 10 bigs is Karen Balby. So, excellent stuff.
Right, let's go,
So
Karen.
I'll
pick my winner. Let's go, Karen.
Do you know, I had a great chat with Joby up at DTD, Leigh, and he's talking about doing some really creative stuff with music and creative art and interpretation of original art and stuff like that. He wants to do some videos. Said we'd give him a little bit of support, a little bit of promotion when he creates. Can't wait. Love to see it.
We're going to turn it into MTV. I love it. Well, I noticed all in with Ace Jack. Old school's got the King Queen. It's the King Queen at
Here we go.
Well, it's
I said a few kings there, Leigh.
There. Needs
Could
to be
a heart
for Jonas, or it's going to be a double up for Old School.
Oh, it's not red.
It's green. It's green. It's green. It's going to be a double up for Old School 69 from the Netherlands. Jonas now going to be down to 12 bigs. So
I was saying that.
He's saying that's hurt, Leigh. That's hurt.
I think that Joby and Karen could be two of my favourite people I've ever met through APAP. I'm going to put it out there.
Good people. Good, so many good people, and
Steve Redfern is all in with Queen 10. Has been called by Gordon Gecko.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Kings. He's in a lot, but he's
hello.
He has got out. He's only gone and hit the out. Needs to avoid a spade for a chop.
Green's good.
This is insane.
Green is good. What about that for a board for Steve Redfern? He doubles up to nearly 10 bigs now. With Gordon Gecko 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's rigged, Leigh. It's so rigged. Wow.
And you
as Trish says,
I told you.
Blimey.
Yeah, pretty much. Karen is all in under the gun for 10 bigs. A lot of people to get through, but not many that have got more chips than her, though. Bumblebee certainly next to Act doesn't. Neither does Steve Redfern.
Trish says, I love the posh and Becks of APAT. Joby and Karen, brilliant.
Ace is not calling this. Ace is not calling this.
I think he might. We can safely say Acer is not calling this.
I think if he's got cards, he might.
Not unless you want to drive out of Manchester and kick him in the kneecap.
He's folding here. I'm pretty confident.
I'm not sure that he is, guys.
He's a big old mate. Get out of the way.
He's folding.
He's putting a lot of stress on Karen if he's planning to fold here, guys. Just stating the obvious.
It's a Saturday night. It's late. He's probably fallen asleep.
Come on, old man. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
He's just sat there looking at his bracelets, going bracelet.
He's shining his trophies,
polishing his bracelets. That's what
What's
he's doing.
What's he doing here, guys? This is a serious dwell.
He needs to get out of the favourite's way.
He's calling. He's calling, guys. I'm telling you now.
I hope he calls and loses. He's one of my teammates.
He's not. He's not calling. There we go. There it is.
He's just woke up.
Take so long? Yeah.
Oh dear.
Let's go, Kaz.
Oh, Steve Redfern has joined us. Rigged, I tell you. Good to have you on, Steve. We've been watching your hands through the evening. All delighted that you're going deep. Karen has said, the pain, lol. I have to say, I feel her pain there. Asa says, it's a seriously close one.
Oh, don't give us that.
We're not having that, Asa.
No, sorry. We're not having that at all.
To be fair, right, I'm now thinking back when we were in Vegas with APAT, and Asa called me on the final tail bubble, and I basically he had aces, but I'd been shoving every hand. So yeah, hope you call off with aces and get beaten acer.
Well, Steve Redfern has shoved for his 9.4 bigs, and he's going to get that one through.
Steve, not in the Karen's big blind.
Yeah, so I mean, average stack is 16 bigs here. So yeah, these kind of stacks around the sort of 8, 9, 10 mark are open to shoving. On the other table, Connor 88 is doing exactly that. Folded round to them, and 11.5 bigs go in the middle. Gypsy Shrimp in the small blind, and Mr. Fresh in the big blind. Chip stacks 1 and 2 of this remaining 15 players. But Connor, no fear there, says I'll happily shove into the 2 big stacks in the blinds and gets it through. But for them to call, it's pretty much half their stack because of where this is at the moment. So if somebody can actually find a way to just put the foot to the floor here and hoover up a few chips, they can quite quickly make a pretty dominant position to put themselves in a strong position when we get to this final table.
Well, Jonas is saying, by the way, to have the second and the first behind me is so nice. But you look at 23 and 24 big blinds respectively, it's still, it's relatively short for a chip leader.
Yeah, no, it really, really is. If you look at this now, at the moment, average stack is 12 bigs and the largest stack is 18 bigs. I mean, yeah, we should be busting players by now. I know players are hanging on here, but we really should be busting players by now. This should already be on a final table. The guys are clinging on. Yeah, the guys are clinging on here, but we should already be at a final table at this point.
Are we on a money jump or?
Not of any major significance. The guys have got locked. Yeah, the guys have got locked up 60 pounds, and it jumps to 64, then 70, and then 75, and then the jumps are from kind of 9th on the final table.
I mean, people are still going to try and cling on for that extra £4 or £5, I suppose, aren't they? I mean,
they want to. Yeah, they want to. I guess they want the chance of getting the final table, but
we're at a pinch point. Well, it's not going to.
You don't want to be hitting. Yeah, you don't want to be hitting the final table with just with 5 bigs or something like that. I don't really see the point of this. So, decision on Bumblebee there, who has decided to call this. So, Smokey, True Babatega, and Bumblebee won. There's 8 bigs in the middle. That's more than Bumblebee's got. That's more than True Babatega's got, and it's not much more than Smokey's got. So. Somebody needs to just fire in and try and win this. Who's going to be first to blink? 3 of them sat there. No.
There's the blink.
Kyle gets the money in the middle first, and he's got Eddie out the way. And what's Bumblebee going to do? 3.8 bigs behind. Meanwhile, Bleach is all in. Gypsy Shrimp has raised it to 2.3 bigs on the other table. That's been folded, so Kyle's going to win that one. So we'll shoot over to this one. Gypsy Shrimp is all in. It's raised it to 2.3. Rory's all in for 10 bigs or whatever. And again, it's a tough one for Gypsy Shrimp to call. That puts Rory up to 17 bigs now, which puts him 4th in chips.
There's your answer, Carl. Or he's in reasonable shape here.
Yeah, but this is so shallow. I mean, it really is. I mean, it has kind of turned into a bit of a shove or fold situation at the moment, which is not great going into a final table. But it's kind of how the players have played it, really.
Absolutely right. Yeah,
we've got to this. This isn't this is exactly the same structure that our main event at Nottingham played out. This is how this one has gone, really, with everyone clinging on. Bumblebee is all in and has been called by Steve Redfern. Ace-9 for Bumblebee. It's Ace-6 for Swimdad. It's the Ace-9 at risk, and that's a great flop for the Ace-9.
Hello. Some outs here.
It's going to chop it up. So it's a chop. The flop was looking good for Bumblebee, but it was likely that it was going to end up being a chop, really. Once that flop comes down. And on we go. Gypsy Shrimp is all in under the gun on the other table. Are we going to get either of the blinds calling? No, they're both saying they're running cold and got out of the way. Back on table 2, and Acer has made the shove this time with 13 bigs. Folded round to Bumblebee on the button. Never in a rush to make a decision.
No.
And,
No.
And the blinds fold as well.
Karen just wants some shiny stuff. I think that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is absolutely fair enough. One blind is 120k. It's so hard, says Jonas. That's where we are now.
Karen is all in for 7.5 bigs. Real corner. Jonas just shoved out the small blind on the other table and got that through against Gypsy Shrimp. So let's see whether Karen gets this one through. 3 players to go. The thing is, there's very little point in getting onto this final table so short stacked that, and so shallow. It doesn't really make a whole heap of sense. It's going to make the final table turn into a little bit of just a kind of a shove fest, but we'll see. Karen gets that one through. Gypsy Shrimp shoves out of the small blind on the other table after a raise from Old School 69. Second in chips against third, I think, or maybe Gypsy Shrimp has got a few less than now. Actually, Gypsy Shrimp just moved down a little bit, so but gets that one through. Right, we got action here. Eddie shoved, and Naz has reshoved. Naz has got about 2 bigs more than Eddie, so it's 6.6 against 8.6, but there's still action to go on this table. Bumblebee first. Well, we know Bumblebee will take time. It's going to fall around. All right, here we go then. Eddie's going to be at risk. It's ace-5 versus ace-10. Ace-5 is at risk.
Oh, hello. Possible splits.
Really? It's going to
high.
get chopped up, isn't it? It's going to get chopped up unless it's a
Oh,
10.
hello.
It isn't. And it does properly get chopped up. It was always looking to be chopped up on the river. Only a 10 was going to change that, and not to be. So you can see the guys are shoving. It's a shove with ace-5 there, and it's been called for it with ace-10. So they're just kind of there's no shortage on wanting to get the chips in the middle here with not even the strongest of hands, so to speak.
I love it, Leigh. Mr. Dunlop, our good friend Joseph Dunlop says, "Gun on, lad." And Carrie comes back with, "You sound like a magpie." Our international viewers are not going to understand that at all. What's happening to Newcastle?
When you say you sound like a magpie, who do you think she's referring to?
Mr. Dunlop?
No,
I think she's referring to Karen.
Kaz, yeah. What did Karen say earlier, Des? Come on.
Oh, about the shiny stuff. Could be.
There we are. Come on.
Boom.
Now, yeah. There we go.
Chat box with about 400 lines of text as we speak. But talking about Newcastle, what's happening there? The loss to Liverpool seems to have slightly unsettled them.
They've just gone to Brighton, and Brighton are a half decent side as well. So
Brighton are a very good side.
Yeah. Oh, they are. I think we'd all agree that. But Brighton, let's not forget, got a bit of a roasting from West Ham last week.
No, I think Brighton are looking good. Obviously, Brighton and all in the call, and it's 7s for Eddie up again. Wow, what a flop! What a flop for Eddie. Flopped quads. First 2 cards out.
Ouch.
And Naz is going to be down to 2 bigs here. And he's going to have his work cut out from there. Naz very much chasing player of the series points, but he's going to need a little bit of magic here to get out of this spot with 1 big blind already in the middle and 0.9 behind.
We'll find a fold here, Naz.
And Mr. Dunlop says, "Lol, I'm a mag wannabe." Oh, Carl says, "Quadrille is in the house." I'm lost on that one, guys. I'm lost on that one. Chelsea, what the hell is happening to Chelsea? I think is a good question.
Wow, action, 3-way all in here. Aces for Karen. It's Queen 5 for Naz. It's
bling,
King,
bling.
Bumblebee. No good for either of them there.
That's it.
Drawing dead. Aces are going to hold. Huge pot for Karen in this grand scheme of things. It's going
bling,
to
bling.
15 bigs, but it's going to bust 2 players, more importantly. And that's a little bit of a money jump now as well, as we're down to 13 players now.
Death by
quads. We want to see Kaz getting all them chips in.
So yeah, on we go. No, I thought it was nice to see the Brighton game today. I think that Ferguson lad potentially could be the replacement for Harry Kane for England. I mean, he's got a shout.
Apart from the fact he's Irish.
Yeah. What? So he's what?
Irish.
I don't think that matters. I think.
Yeah, we're holding on to this one just to try and attract Jack Grealish and Damien Rice back.
Yeah. It's not an issue whatsoever. It doesn't work like that. So nice one for Karen there. So on we go. Jonas is got it all in with showed Queen 9 on the other table and got that one through. So on we go. And we're down to 13 now. So final table of 9 it'll be tonight.
Little lull, little bit of silence in the moment.
Yeah, but average stack is still only 14 bigs. I mean, seriously, this should be at a final table by now. How we're not, I'm not quite sure, really. This should already be there.
Welcome to Pat.
Yeah.
Don't say that, Stu.
Last night's played out pretty well with the PLO game. This has just gone pretty tight. Gypsy Shrimp is all in. Ace 9 against the Ace King. They're chip leaders 1 and 2.
Blimey!
And you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, here it comes.
And there it is. Ace King is going to.
Wow.
Going to hold, and there we now finally have a proper chip leader with 42 bigs, with 12 players remaining. First busting second there, Mr. Fresh from Russia is our clear chip leader now.
Blinds have just gone up as well, so it's going to put a lot of pressure on.
Just 5 big blinds difference between 4th and 12th.
Yeah. Now let's see whether Mr. Fresh uses this this chip stack to maximise the chances on the final table, with 3 more players to bust before we hit that final table, and then we get to play the whole musical chairs thing on the when we get there, which is a new thing on GG. If you didn't see it last night, Stu, you're in for some fun.
Just you might want to prepare some sunglasses in advance.
Basically, everyone on the final table last night, as Steve Redfern's all in with Ace King against Eddie's King Jack. They both flopped a king, but it's going to need to be a jack for Eddie, or Steve's going to get a double up through him, which should be about 18 bigs, which is huge. It's going to be another king. So so that's going to be that's massive for Steve. That's going to put Steve second in chips now. So all in bleach and gets that one through.
Di says Eddie, Ace, Steve Redfern. Come on, guys.
No, Di, we're backing Karen. We've been through this.
Karen slipped back to 11 bigs again after that super hand a couple of orbits ago.
But 11 bigs is average stack at the moment, so it really is. It is not anything to massively worry about. All in a call. Eddie's all in with 7s against the Ace 7 of Gordon Gecko. 1, 2, 3. Whichever one of them loses this is either going to be bust or left on absolute fumes.
10
needs to be an ace for Gordon Gecko. Not going to be. Eddie's going to get a double up to 8 bigs. Meanwhile, Bleach is all in with. Split with Beach is all in with Queens against the Ace Queen of Connor 88. Needs to avoid a
it's blue. It's
blue. And ouch. Connor 88 is going to get a double up to 17 bigs, and Rory's going to be left on 4.5 bigs now. Did the other one split because it was a straight? Is that how that played? Yeah. I'd already moved across to see because I saw Rory was all in as well. So old school shoves and gets that one through. Eddie is all in, being called by Karen. It's pocket deuces for Eddie. It's ace 8 for Karen. It's the deuces at risk. counterfeit options there now as well. A whole host of options
10.
here for Karen.
3-1.
And it's
Oi, oi,
not
oi.
going to
It's
happen.
not one of them.
And Eddie's going to get a double up, and Karen back down to 7.5 bigs. We're still 3 off the final table here. And as I've been saying for the last 15, 20 minutes, we should have already been on this final table by now. Ace 3 for Rory up against the King 4 of J-Funk K, or J-Funk.
J-Funk.
And hits an ace, and so that's going to be J-Funk busting in 12th place and chips for Rory. Meanwhile, back on the other table, Ace is all in with Ace 6 against Eddie's Ace King. 6 or a 7 for Acer on the river, not to be, and another double up for Eddie, and this leaves Acer on 1.1 bigs this time. So, yeah, we are at this point now where we're going to have there's 3 short stacks on this table.
It's just carnage.
Yeah, it really is. What's Acer going to do with his 1 big here? Is he going to get it in this time? No, he's going to wait. Eddie's now gone to 2nd in chips. Bleach is all in on the other table. Pocket 6 against the King Jack of real corny Jonas. And Jonas has hit a king on the flop, but a 6 for Bleach, which means he's going to get a double up, but actually not quite a double up, because he's going to bust Jonas in 11th place. So we're down to 10, 1 off the final table now. We're going to go hand for hand, obviously.
Unlucky Jonas, good game.
So Rory is up to 19 bigs now, which is above average stat, guys. Gordon Gecko is all in on table 2 and gets that one through. So we're going to go hand for hand here. And Acer has got 0.9 of a big blind and is all in the big blind this hand. So we'll monitor this table, because I'm going to guess this is the one where we're going to see an all in and a call. The other guys might well just fold this all the way around. I'll keep an eye on it on the other table. But it's going to be Karen with the Ace 3 against Ace's Queen 10. It's the Queen 10 that's at risk. They're slow playing on the other table at the moment. But if it's not a Queen or a 10, then we're going to lose Acer.
He's got a shot.
It's
not to be.
So Mr. Fresh has raised it into
Good game, Acer.
Rory's big blind. And Rory folds.
Well played, Acer.
And so we are going to be done there. So we'll just get the final table up for you guys now.
Well, the Coldstream guys are they're convinced that Rory is a short stack ninja. He's going to take the bling. It's going to go into the Coldstream trophy cabinet at the end of the night. So they are all in on this final table.
So here we go, guys. So how this works. GG
Acer.
software update. Well played, Acer. Very well done indeed. They put players on a break when we get to a final table. So that's it. So Jonas, thank you very much for following the stream and enjoyed watching you play tonight. So very well done indeed. So yes, the players get a little bit of a break before they start the final table. These are your final tables. Mr. Fresh from Russia is chip leader with 6.8 million in chips now, which is 85 big. So they roll back the blinds as well once you hit the final table. So you'll see the guys have got a little bit more play here now on this final table. Bleach 2277, which is Rory Laidlaw, he's got 44 bigs. True Babatega is Eddie Nyaksu, he's got 45 bigs. Swim Dad is Steve Redfern with 45 bigs. Connor 88, don't know who you are, Connor 88. If you're on the stream or watching, let us know who you are. Smokey is Kyle Dobson with 32 bigs. Old School 69 from the Netherlands. Coronis is Karen Balby with 20 bigs. And Gordon Gecko 123 makes up the final 9. Once they've finished their break, or they've all clicked to say they're ready, we will be underway. And I think they're going to do this musical chairs thing again, Des.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, if you didn't see this last night's Tuesday, how it works is the short stack gets to decide whether they want to swap seats, and they can choose where they want to sit. And then basically they work up the stacks. So, and you can stay where you are, or you can choose to swap, but it will move you if you want to choose to swap. So they work their way around the table till all night. But it means the chip leader is last to act in this.
He gets to put himself wherever he wants.
So the chip leader can say, I'm happy where I am, or can move to any spot on the table before the final table starts.
I mean, I've got no idea what I'd do by the end of it. Obviously,
if somebody can explain why, I could completely understand it if they went chip leader acts first, all the way down, and then the short stack gets to decide where they want to go. But the chip leader's already joining the final table as a chip leader. Surely, why do they get the opportunity to also position themselves wherever they want to sit on the final table as well? Makes no sense.
No sense at all. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life. But
yeah. So the rollback, guys, is basically it's a feature final table when with the numbers that we've got with APAT. So basically, when we hit the final table, they roll it back to 40 big blinds. So and how it works now is we don't play timed levels. Basically, every 12 hands now, the level will go up. So that's how it works, and the guys will get a time bank for the final table, which I think is about 15 minutes.
Seems generously based on what we saw last night.
Yeah.
How long? Sorry,
15 minutes.
But they won't. So basically, the minute. So instead of having 30 seconds to think of it, the minute you've had your kind of action time, which is about 5 or 10 seconds, after that it just eats into your 15-minute time bank for the final table.
I'd be off for cigarettes every like.
So, gents, we have a form of declaration in the chat box. Naz has come in and said, "I would like to be the first to congratulate Stefan on the player of the series. Hope I've got that right. If not, never mind. Obviously, can't be official yet, but that was Naz's post. And a couple of seconds later, Stefan Rotor appeared and said, anyone in the final table." In the pots, in the player of the series. So
we don't think so, Stefan. But we do need to tie up yesterday's results as well. So we can't confirm for definite until Monday once GG have got all of this confirmed for us. So you're going to have to just bear with us for a day or two, and it'll be a bit of a sweat for 24 hours or so and 48 hours until we know that. But my gut feel is there isn't. But hey. Last year, Des and I called it that England were going to win the whole thing, and they didn't. Scotland won it. So what do we know?
But Leigh, in fairness, that was deliberate bocking, right?
Oh, of course it was. Absolutely, yeah. We tried it again this year, but it didn't work.
Listen, talking about deliberate bocking, Leigh, Jamie has only gone and said, who's the only other Coldstream player to have an APAT medal, though? Thin brag. So presumably Jamie has a medal, and presumably he's thinking that Rory is like a cert now to go on and medal, or even better, maybe take the bracelet.
Here we go.
And perhaps he
Here
is.
we go, folks.
Oh,
Here
Jesus
we
Christ.
go.
It's like Eurovision all over again, Leigh. Here are
When
the
the
votes
music
of the
stops,
short stack jury.
Gordon Gecko, first to act. Does
Wall
Gordon
Street.
Gecko stay where they are, or do they want to move? What's he going to do? He's got 2 seconds. He's got 1 second.
Straight to the button, Leigh. He's got to go to the button.
His time's expired. He's going to stay where he is. So next up is going to be Karen. Is Karen
Go to the
gonna
button,
stay where
Karen.
she is, or is she
Go
gonna
to the
move?
button.
What's she going to do? She's moving seats. Where's she going? She's moving.
She's
across
changed
to
with the
where
gecko.
Gordon Gecko was. Right, old school. 16. This is just nuts. Seriously, are we really commentating on this?
3-1, Leigh, that he goes for the button.
We should be having prop bets on whether they move or not. That's what we should be doing. Right, Smokey, come on, Kyle.
Didn't
don't
move.
let us
Nobody's
down.
going for the button, Leigh. What's going on?
Come on. What are you going to do? The trouble is, you can move. You could switch with the chip leader and have the button. He's going. Where's he going?
Oh,
Staying where he
he's
is.
staying in the same
where he is.
place. Nobody knows what's going on, Leigh. That's what's actually happening here.
This is just nuts. So interesting position here now, right? Because Rory's got a decision to make. Because he's got the chip leader to his right, and he's got third in chips to his left. I'm not sure whether I'd want to be there.
Go to the other side of the chip leader.
I would be moving myself out of that spot. But he's not. He's stayed there.
The only one that's moved so far was Karen. Oh, hello. No, he stayed there as well, Steve. And the chippy will now pick wherever he wants to be.
So actually, Eddie's got. Actually, they haven't quite got the first, second, third in the right place, actually, because looking at the stacks, it is slightly weird. So so what's Mr. Fresh going to do? He's moving. Look where he's positioned himself over the other side of the table. Interesting.
Interesting.
So anyway, we're done with that. So so just basically, if you're not catching up all of that, so basically you've got 5 seconds to act, and then you eat into your tournament clock, which is actually only about 7. Some of them have got a little bit less, so it must be relating to what they've also done on previously. They've got about 7 minutes, so it's clearly different. On what they're doing, but basically they're going to get 5 seconds to act, and then they start eating into their final table clock, which is for most of them is about 7 minutes. So here we go then. A little bit of play in this now, because average stack is 40 bigs, which means chip leader's got 85, short stack has got about 20 bigs. So we've got a little bit of play on this final table now. The guys have all locked up £130. Then it goes 174, 232, 309, 413, 550, and then our top 3 bronze medals going to pick up £735. Silver medalists will pick up £980, and the winner will pick up the gold medal, WCOAP bracelet for event number 25, and £1,300.
Why on earth did that short stack stay there?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
If you're short, move to the button, you might ladder. But I would imagine for a lot of players, they're experiencing this for the first time. They're probably not entirely sure what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
Because we only saw this for the first time last night. I think it's been on a couple of the guys were saying that they've seen it in some events for the last couple of weeks, but I think this has really kicked in since the software upgrade that happened yesterday, I think. So a big pot building here already.
You don't want to be button to the big blind, to the big stacks, big blind, surely.
Yeah, so old school 69 and Bleach 2277 in this first hand, already 10 bigs in the middle. Bleach makes it 5.3 and is going to get that through. So
clock's a lot shorter here, Leigh.
Yeah, they're down to 7 minutes. So I don't know how that works either.
Bizarre. It's quite different for every player. I think the only trick that GG have missed here is not going anti-clockwise with the play, just to completely screw people up.
Just have done with it. So Gordon
Can you imagine?
Gecko, yeah. So Connor 88 raises, min raises under the gun, and Gordon Gecko 123 shoves for 18 bigs. It's half of Connor's stack, and I'm not seeing anything to suggest that he's going to just no, and very quickly takes a second of the time bank and then folds. So instead of playing the 10-minute levels now as well, guys, if you're watching this a final table like this for the first time, they basically played 12 hands and then the level goes up. So they've already played 3 of those. This is hand number 4. And Kyle Dobson raises it up, Smokey to 2.2, and is going to get that one through and shows pocket queens.
Nice. So Simon says it's been a feature for ages, so I assume this is the start to final table, okay, choosing seats. We just haven't seen it before. Kerry says it's because they use some of their extra clock during normal play, probably. Would agree with that, okay. But it's different to what we saw last night. It was quite different last night in the PLO. And Carl says, look, I understand the dynamics a little bit, but why is it a thing? And I think that's why we're all slightly scratching our head as to.
Yeah, but I think Simon is right. I think it might have been about for a little while. It's just we've never seen it on an APAC game until now. These championship events. So I think it only kicks in with a certain number of runners and all that kind of thing. So yeah. So we're seeing this kind of for the first time, and certainly on our stream for the first time. And this doesn't happen with satellites. And obviously we've streamed a lot of satellites over the last few months, certainly around the World Series stuff that we were streaming on a Sunday night. So we've not really kind of come across this as well. So Simon is well, we know he will be completely spot on that this has been a thing for a little while.
So you know why? I mean, you might suggest
regular final tables.
You might suggest it's a bit of fun. Right, so they're trying to attract and retain recreational players. So it does add a couple of elements that are both fun and might slightly alarm a pro. Who knows? Who knows? But we're certainly still talking about them 24 hours on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rollback does. The rollback's a weird one because of where we were in that particular tournament, that was such a rollback.
Yeah.
Because the average stack was about 16 bigs, and all of a sudden we've shunted it to 40 bigs because you've made the final table. That does seem a little bit a little bit crazy in the whole dynamic of the tournament, Stu, doesn't it? It makes a massive difference to where players are if they can just make that final table. Yeah. So maybe that was really the reason why they were all clinging on to make that final table, because they were more aware of it than we were. To go, well, actually, if I can get on the final table, I'm going to get a rollback, and I'm actually going to get a bit more play. Yeah. In the tournament. I'm not sure how much I don't mind maybe a level just to give a little bit of play, but that's a huge swing.
I mean, also the chip leader's got 93 big blinds.
Yeah, that does seem rather excessive.
It's good if you want to play poker until 6 o'clock in the morning, I suppose, but
don't say that. Honestly,
it'll happen. Listen, I won't be happy until I've seen all 9 players consecutively choose the button, right, for their move. The shorty selects it, and then suddenly the next shorty selects it and sends the previous shorty just to somewhere really ugly. That's what I want to see.
I mean, I guess the question is, where do you want to be? I mean, where is the optimal position to be on a final?
If you're on the short stack, it's button, I suppose, isn't it?
I suppose it depends on what your stack is, first of all, and as to what's going on. But yeah, interesting one. Sure.
Simon Allen has joined us. It might be fun, but it definitely doesn't benefit the Rex. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if a pro is coming into a final table as the chip leader, he's going to get the last call as to where everybody sits. So that does not favour the Rex for sure.
Well, I also think the rollback doesn't benefit.
Absolutely right. Same thing. Yeah, more play, less fortune. Look. And Eddie simply says, "I'm so confused." And now that could be die. But it sounds like Eddie.
Yeah, well, I know Eddie will be very much focused on the poker, because, as I say, he was coming in as third in chips here, and so as I say, has got a little bit of play here now with 44 bigs. But we don't mind the stream running later than we normally do, because it is the last event of the WCOAP 2023, and last chance for somebody to pick up a bracelet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Leigh,
25 events we've done in the space of the last week. 25 bracelet events, absolutely flown by.
10 to 1 now, Leigh. We've got more people watching the stream than we did at 10 to 12. That's the APAC crew for you.
Are you working tomorrow, Stu, or are you?
No, I am off until Tuesday. Thank God.
Oh, lovely! Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Yeah, wherever you're watching, whether you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, or on Facebook, you can just use the chat boxes in any of those, and we'll get your message up on screen, answer any questions you've got, or let us know who you're rooting for on this final table.
Jesus. In the lobby, it says, final table roll back 40 big blinds to 100 big blinds where there are more than 57 entries. Yowza.
Wow.
Kerry says, I don't usually go to bed until around 3 to 5 a.m. anyway. So every day is a WCOAP day for Kerry.
What time, Kerry? What time do you get up?
Around 7 a.m., Leigh.
Yeah. Seriously.
That is late.
I've got to get. I need my sleep. I can't. I can't work.
If we could all just get on with it.
Yeah, I do need.
Steve Redfern says, "Flipping heck, Kerry, I have to be up at 5 tomorrow." Blimey.
Just send me your login details, Steve. I'll play, because this will be going on until about 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
Oh, it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as that. That's for sure. Blinds are already up anyway. We're already into the into level 25 now, so we're back up to 50k, 100k, which means the chip leaders now has only got 77 bigs. And average stack is now 32 bigs. So it doesn't take long to get back in.
If I'm that chip leader now, I'm going to be just making everyone's life miserable.
Yeah. Well, what it also means is Stu, is players have got no reason to also hang around too much here. They're just because basically, dragging this out to try and get the blinds to go up, or it's not a thing anymore now, because basically it's going to be 12 hands per level. So yes, when you've got a decision to make, use your time bank, take your time to make the decision. It's important, but other than that, just get on with it. There's no reason to hold out here. Yeah, there is no reason. Well, there is no reason to hold on here. I do like it from that point of view.
Yeah.
Because obviously we do know that sometimes players will use time banks and slow things down because they want the blinds to go up because that gives them an advantage or levels the playing field or wherever it might be. Whereas this is pretty fair in it. Eddie wakes up with aces and gets paid off through Kyle there.
Serious post from Tris here, guys. You spend hours playing an MTT to put yourself in a position to win or ladder, best possible, only to have the goalpost move on the final table to 40 to 100 bigs average. Not a fan. I hate it, to be honest. We certainly don't have a lot of pros playing APAT online events, but we do have big fields. This will become a thing, and Tris's post is pretty sensible, I would have thought.
Mm-hmm. No,
the goalposts are moving.
I completely agree with Tris. I don't mind a little adjustment to give a little play. We roll back our day 2 if necessary, and we did also roll back our final table, but it was nothing by more than a level. And we've rolled it back to ensure that there were 33 bigs. 40 bigs seems high to me.
Silly.
Yeah. It just seems a little bit high. We all make sure 33. So we make sure our day 2 starts at 33 bigs average stack, and our final table will start at 33 bigs average stack in Nottingham, and that seemed to work quite nicely. So this just feels a little bit too much, and I think moving the goalpost is quite right, because especially when you're playing a tournament through in one session, which is what this is, it does feel like you are changing this. So if you're the chip lead, I'm trying to work out whether it benefits the chip leader or not. I think if you built up a chip lead and all of a sudden you're finding that everybody else has got a little bit more breathing space and you can't apply as much pressure on them because they've all that massively does change the situation. Connor 88 and Old School 69 in this hand here. Again, not a huge amount in the middle. Old School's bet out 3.4 bigs, which is half a pot bet, and is going to get that one through. So I completely agree with what.
Sai comes in with the alternative view, and he says, you guys are arguing for short stack poker. I don't think so, but it's the change that's a little disquieting. Excuse me for a minute, guys. I just got to step out.
Yeah. And the other thing I don't kind of quite get, Stu, is they hit the break. So they hit the final table and they send them on a 5-minute break.
No, there's no. They're a break when they've got the final table. It's like
exactly. And then it's 5 to the hour, so you're ending up having sort of 15 minutes of break in an hour and 5 minutes of online poker, which just again feels unnecessary to me. I think the final table should just play straight on through, and you have your break at 5 to the hour. But
you want a break? You've got 7 minutes worth of time bank to take.
Yeah, exactly. And and I get what Simon's saying about we're not arguing for short stack poker, far from it. But it shouldn't. I don't think it needs to kind of move as drastically as they've got it. Maybe it's just our tournament tonight got down to sort of 16 bigs average. Which is, it should never have got down that low, but it has done with players hanging on, wanted to make the final table, and then all of a sudden it's shunted back up to 40 bigs.
It's just there's too many kind of like chips in play for the I don't know. It's like they've got to remember it's like a late night thing, and it's a time for recreational players. Nobody wants to be up until the neck end at 2 or 3 in the morning playing.
Yeah.
Poker.
And we've got most of our timings done now, so that we're not there. And this is going to be the latest that will have been all season for an online event, I think. That's it. And Simon's right. The good old days of no breaks. The 5 to the hour thing is the rest of the world could do with implementing that. I keep saying that to people that were clients when they're trying to book Zoom meetings and Teams meetings and whatever it is, and I'm like, we really need to implement this 5 to the hour break. That basically everybody, that's it. You don't book anything at 5 to the hour, and just everybody takes a step out for that point.
Nothing wrong with that.
The rest of the world could learn from the poker world on that, or certainly the online poker world.
So would this be something that you can talk to GG about with the rollbacks and all that kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, we can remove it from our events. I mean, they put it into our events, obviously as part of the feature, the feature final table offering. So yeah, we can talk to them and say, actually, we don't want any of this. Some of it I don't mind. I think the picking your seats thing just seems nuts. I don't get that. And if somebody could explain to me what the benefit of it is, obviously it's been in for a little while, so just we're seeing it for the first time, but it's obviously been around for a while. I don't understand the logic of short stack up to big stack, picking what seat they want to sit in.
You've already got an advantage by having loads of chips, so you just get another one by a picker. You can
Is it just is it? I don't know. Is it?
It feels like a gimmick for the sake of a gimmick.
I can't see what the benefit is. It's not as if it's like, oh well, because it's already random. I mean, surely you randomize the seat draw, and that's where you sit down at the final table. That's how it works in the live environment. So where's the benefit for this for anybody other than the chip leader that can go, right? Okay, I've seen where the other 8 are now sat. I'll now decide where I want to sit down.
And I'll just sit down next to the small stacks and obliterate them, basically.
That feels, complete, an advantage of some way. If I understood it better, there's an advantage to it. It's just like working out where that is. Until you know where everyone's sat and there's chip stacks, then it's difficult to know where that's going to be. But basically, you can find the optimal place to sit as the chip leader. Yep. Wow.
It won't take people long to figure out where it is and tell everyone.
Yeah, it seems a massive benefit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a few people says Simon Law says poker sites love gimmicks. Yeah, yep. And Carl says it's a gimmick that needs to go away. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
True.
At all. That is for sure. But we're coming back in off from the break. Blinds are 50,000, 100,000. 7 more hands to go at this level. And I think with the short stacks now down around 14, 15 bigs, it's not going to take long before we start seeing some action here. So Eddie under the gun raises it up. Gets that one through.
Easy game.
But even these short stacks at sort of 14, 15 bigs at the moment, Stu, they're not, they can hang on.
It's not desperate, is it?
Yeah, they can hang on for an orbit or two. It's not a big deal if they're looking to want to ladder up some money here, or wait and see if they can get some premium hands and get paid off.
If I've got 15 bigs now, I'm leveraging it because you've still got an awkward call off for a lot of the stacks on the table.
Well, yeah, I would say for everybody apart from Mr. Fresh, really. So Old School and Bleach going to see a board of Jack, Ace, Deuce. But it is super tight, isn't it, the play here?
Mm-hmm. Very, very much so.
Nice bet from Rory. Just ask the question, half the pot.
I think you can probably even go smaller than that, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, Old School's made the call. So Rory's not going to stop here and gets another call. I mean, this is now 21 bigs in the middle. Old School's got 13 behind Bleach. Rory's got 31. Is he going to find a... No, he's going to check it down this time. Oh, wow. Okay, I don't think Old School was... I mean, are you not just firing into that on the rip? Surely your ace-6 is...
Yeah, I mean, you can value bet it, can't you?
Yeah. It seemed a bit of a funny way to play that, but
what's the guy flatted with? Like you've been raised it, and he's just flatted. It's like, what's he got? He's got ace king, ace queen, ace jack. He's probably going to 3-bet, especially with a stack size like they are.
So Kyle and Karen here.
In his eye, Karen, go on.
Again, very similar stack sizes. Karen's made the call, so that's the turn. So there's nearly 10 bigs in the middle, and they pretty much got that back behind each. What does Karen do here? Makes the call.
What a river card!
Oh, it's the third heart. So if that's what you were hoping for, yeah.
Oh, check.
Oh wow!
Yes, Kaz. There we go.
Oh, so yeah, you do wonder if Kyle had been able to shove the river there when it checked back to him.
Yeah,
it would have been a really difficult spot for Karen, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To have just called it off with a pair of queens, but nicely played by Karen, and up to 22 bigs now. So yeah, Simon Allen says, I'm all for gimmicks that appeal to benefit rec players, but this one, however, does the opposite, and final table is completely the wrong time.
Yeah, I'll pretty much agree with that.
Yeah. And Simon says, is that Karen Mead? No, it's Karen Balby. Simon. So Caronis is Karen Balby. So is anybody going to raise into Kyle's? Yeah. Rory is bleached 22.77 is going to raise into Smokey's big blind.
Blinds are up next hand as well.
Yeah, Kyle Dobson. So he's only got 7 bigs behind. Can afford to let this one go, but as you say, blinds are going to go up next hand. So makes the call out of the big blind. And pretty much Rory puts them all in, and they're going to be going at it. It's King 9, Jack 6, and that's going to be Kyle. Good for a double up, isn't it, really?
Mm.
Very much needed that.
Oh, there's Des. I told you I hadn't gone to bed.
There you go. He's back in the room.
I can't believe everybody's still there, guys.
I can.
So blinds have just gone up again. So average stack is now down to 27 bigs. So nice little bit of play here.
Average stack is 27 bigs. There's only 2 people with more, well, 3 people with more than that. So there's got to be movement. There's got to be.
Well done, Kyle Dobson, Simon. Well done indeed.
Yeah, he got short down to about 6 bigs, but then just doubled up through Rory. Was played a hand against Karen and lost a chunk of chips there, but has now won a few back. So he's still 8th of 9 players remaining, but is on this final table. And say the pay jumps are really nice, considering it's a £25 comp. So these guys are all locked up £130. If a few players can bust in front of you now, you can turn that 130 into £300 with just a few exits. which is certainly a nice payday, and obviously still big money up top. £735 for third, £980 for second, and £1,300 for the winner. Really decent payout for a Saturday night, sat at home playing some poker and playing the final event of the WCOAP.
I mean, that's a new Apple product right there.
Oh, what for first?
First, yeah. I mean, you can get yourself one of those little iPhones.
There you go.
They'll be coming out this month, won't they?
Des is already spending your money for you. Whoever wins it, he's already eyeing up what you can have.
And we're going to get a little iPhone, and we can share it.
Oh, it seems reasonable. Are you going to have it for the first 6 months? Yeah, is that how it's going to work? Yeah.
Well, I just need it for APAT weekends, Lee.
Yeah, that's what
I'll be honest. I just need it as a camera.
Can we? So that's for sure. So on we go. Still not lost anybody. We've pretty much played 2 levels up now, if I'm right, Stu, aren't we? So we're into the third level of this final table. Not bust anybody yet, but Gordon Gecko now is down to under 10 bigs. Who was the short stack coming onto this final table? Not really done anything at all so far. Playing out of Mexico. Trying to think what sort of time what's Mexico going to be about?
Be about, what, 4 or 5 hours? About 5, 6 hours?
5, 6 hours. Yeah.
It'd be a nice place to send a medal to, Des.
Sorry?
Yeah.
It'd be a nice place to pay to send a medal to.
Wow.
Oh, we've sent medals.
We've sent them to
all
some exotic places.
Yeah.
Yeah, go over the online world.
Yeah. Kazakhstan, Belarus, Canada. I think Canada was about the furthest we sent them medals. A couple of medals went over to Canada.
We must have sent
During
medals
lockdown.
to Brazil, Lee.
Yes, we did.
Felt like
yeah,
it was some South American,
yeah, we did send a couple to Brazil as well. Yeah. Mary says she'll never get an iPhone, Des. So you're not going to convince her.
God, I'll have Kerry's iPhone.
Yeah, so Gordon Gecko is pretty much as good as all in and gets that one through.
I'd quite like, Lee, if the delivery man turned up in Brazil with the medal, and when the door is answered, the first question he asks is, "What's your delivery number?" So unless you can tell him it's 112, he's got to take it away.
So Gordon Gecko 123 shoves again and gets it through again. It's not the worst tactic in the world, looking at the way this final table's played so far.
At all.
Raise from Steve Redfern.
Well, Karen's thinking.
So cracking turnout tonight. 293 runners in this final event. Yeah. Superb. Thank you to everybody that's supported these couple of online events to conclude the WCOAP.
Sort of felt like we've known most of them from 10 p.m. Name checked a few.
Yeah, we really have, and it's nice to see even on this final table. We know what we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the 9. We can name check with real names.
And I'd bet money that at least another 2 have played with us before.
Yeah, we'll know who they are. Yeah, I think probably the reality is probably only Gordon Gecko 1, 2, 3 and Mr. Fresh. We won't actually necessarily know of. So little limp here from Rory has been called by Eddie.